Hello, hello. Has that worked? Okay. Right. We've made it in. I am so sorry about that. That is really bad. There was obviously a few issues at this end. I had the thought I had the stream up and running properly, but clearly we didn't. So yeah, we are live. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really sorry about that. But here we go. Don't worry, we haven't missed anything. None of you have missed anything. Thanks for coming along, and I can only apologise. That is yeah, that's a first one for me actually on YouTube. So pretty good. Can you guys hear me now? Here we go. Okay, I was going to say I thought the chat was a bit quiet, so I can only apologise, guys. Yeah, my fault. That was my fault. I made a complete mess of the start there. So thank you all for coming along. I did say I have already tried to say hello to everyone, but yeah, I lost my basically my normal backup to check it's working isn't working, and I was just mentioning that earlier and I couldn't convince it to wake up, but there we go. Right, thanks for coming along, guys, and I'm so sorry for the start. So Joseph, good to see you. Hello Van der Veen, good evening. It's great to see you guys here, and I apologise. Deep Future, thank you for coming. Dave Geimer says Southend, baby. Yeah, today I should start again. I need to give you the full intro. So welcome to this stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. We're going to take this lovely Air 2000 1990s livery A320 NEO down to Rome Fiumicino. Not somewhere I think we've been before, certainly not recently, and I wanted to give this livery a proper flight because it's absolutely lovely. This was not made by Paddy like it normally is. This one was made by Window Seat, Lord P, our resident Airbus and Boeing engineer, our all-round aircraft engineer. So yeah, it is oh, that's not a good angle. It is what have I done wrong here? Right, yeah. So this is available on flightsim.to. Link is in the description. But this livery came out and was replaced by my favourite all-time livery, the Air 2000 Tapestry livery. So that's why I wanted to fly this one. I have a model of this aircraft on my desk. It's in fact one of my very first memories of aviation. Was sitting on holiday and seeing the getting a few notifications here. Let me just check what's going on. Right, guys. I'm not sure it's coming through properly or not. Let me just see what happens with YouTube. But I think some people have very kindly super chatted, so hopefully those will appear very shortly. Goodness me, that's very kind of you guys. Yeah. So let me see what happens with that. Otherwise, I'll talk about that separately very briefly. Anyway, yeah, so Air 2000, one of the first memories I had as a child, sitting on holiday, seeing the Air 2000 tail zoom by outside, lit up at night, and I still sticks in my head. So I have a model of this on a 757 on my desk, but yeah. Right. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what is going on. It's not being very clear here with me, I'm afraid. What is going on? This is YouTube's not being very cooperative with me today. I can see through Streamlabs a few very kind donations, so I'm gonna say thank you to those guys right now. Simon Schmidt 320 has super chatted €5. Thank you very much. I know it's not showing up on YouTube, however, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on yet with it. But these maybe came through. So sorry, guys. I can't work this one out. That's really bizarre. YouTube's been playing out for everyone. Yeah, guys, it's not it's not showing me. If anyone has kindly super chatted, I really appreciate it. I'm getting the notifications through Streamlabs. I'm not seeing it in the chat, and I don't fully understand why it's going around in circles. Is it, or it's showing loads and loads and loads of super chats? I mean, I really appreciate it if you guys have. I think it's going around in a big loop. Or it's showing all the old ones, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I think we're going to get them all sent through. I recognise some of these from before. That's terrible. That is terrible. Yeah, they are. I think these are coming from the last ones. So I'm really sorry, guys. And if any of you have sent us a super chat today, I'm really sorry. It's not been very clear with me what is going on. So I can only apologise if I don't say if I don't read it out. But a few that I can see. Lino, if you're here, Streamlabs is trolling me. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. So I'm going to turn off the overlay for a second, and I'm so sorry if you guys have super chatted. I really appreciate it, but yeah, let me just turn off the alert box because it's going to just go around in circles for a little bit there. Eric, thank you very much for your 10 NOK donation. I can see that one come through, so thank you very much, Eric. Really appreciate it as ever for supporting the channel. Thank you very much. Right, this is going terribly. What a start. So yeah, it sounds like it's working, but I think though it's reading out old super chats from very generous people. So yeah, so I'm so sorry if you have super chatted and I've not read it out. Do write into chat, but I recognise some of those from recent ones. Anyway, so Gosh, good to see you. Victor Tango, Dougal, thanks for coming along and moderating. We are on VATSIM today, not on multiplayer. So if you want to fly along, !route, and you can join in. The Streamlabs bot will give you the route. Wired Womble, good to see you as well. Andy H1302 said they were working very early today, so thanks for coming along. Andy as well, I hope your work was pretty easy going for you. Josh Gaming says hello Captain. Hello Josh, and thank you very much for your £1.99 donation, really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel, Josh Gaming. And Richard Gardner, thank you for your $1 donation. Thanks for coming along guys, and thank you for your donations. Yeah, I can see those ones working, so those old ones have all cleared out. So I will turn on the alerts soon when Streamlabs stops it. But thank you very much for the donations. Those have worked. That's great. Ethan's Aviation, good to see you. Ed Haslam, thanks for coming along. Eric as well, thanks for your test. Yeah, testing purposes. Matteo, thanks for coming and moderating. Guru KN, good to see you. Yeah, Ed Haslam, I think I've said. Simon Forrester says, can't remember the Air 2000 call sign. Is it Jet Set? It is Jet Set indeed. We'll be running as Jet Set again. Right, I'm really sorry. I will stop saying hello to people and we're going to jump into the airplane and get ourselves started. So, as you can see, I thought we were further along. Anyway, the plane is powered up, but what I want to show you is a few new things that have been added in. So this is quite exciting. They've been hard at work at the fly-by-wire team. So there's our route, Southend to Fiumicino, Rome. We haven't been there for a while, I don't believe, which I've just grabbed from SimBrief. Importantly, or excitingly, on the ground tab, these things now work. So we can do passenger and it'll bring those stairs over. We can do door, which it does automatically, bring a fuel truck. We can do door aft and catering, and we can do baggage, and it's all just going to magically happen for us. I'm a big fan of ground vehicles. It was one of the few add-ons I did get for X-Plane 11. I wanted to make sure it's well, I always wanted to have it working. It's just one of those things. I really like the idea of having the ground vehicles. It all adds to it, because you don't see your airplane parked up neatly until it's seconds from departing. Basically, you'll sit at these terminals that reflect back at you, and you'll think, oh, we're going in 10 minutes, and you'll look around and you'll see this sort of picture with just vehicles surrounding, and you won't even be able to see your airplane sometimes. But anyway, something to note is that these things work really well, but they will come, do whatever they were doing, and then they will disappear again all on their own. So yeah, it's not like they'll stay open the whole time. So you can pretty much just leave it alone and it will just work out. This livery's fantastic work by Window Seat. Look at these joins on the flow of that logo up the tail, which is really nice, really nicely done. Great detailing on the first choice. And this is the latest version, which has had a few fixes added to it as well. So there we go. This is available, as I said, in the description. So yeah, that's been added. Otherwise, things are pretty much the same. We've got our different tabs all working out in the load sheet, and as I say, our route there. So all pretty good. How's the weather in Rome? What does it look like? It looks nice. Yeah, nicer. I'm looking forward to getting there, definitely. Also in ground, you can now push back without having to use pushback helper, which is great news. So yeah, Simon Schmidt, thank you very much for your €5 donation. Really appreciate it, Simon. Simon says, first super chat was in fact an old one, but no worries, Captain. Thank you for your stream and onto a very nice evening flight. Thanks, Simon. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting us again. Yeah, really appreciate it. Let me turn on the alert box and see if it's going to calm down. It says everything was from 3 minutes ago, so I think it's caught up. Streamlabs does have a habit of doing this every now and then. So thank you very much, Simon. Really appreciate it. Let me just check I haven't missed anything else. No, good stuff. Right, Ethan's Aviation, good to see you as well. Alexander Garfano. Questions. Keep the questions for the cruise, guys. Plenty of time in the cruise to talk about it as ever. Nice coffee cup. Yeah, we have a new sustainable coffee cup. Andy kindly sent over another one. Maybe we can imagine it's made of bamboo. So yeah, that's now fitted to both sides. There's just a slight texture change. We've also got our 320 Sim Pilot nameplate back, which is great news. Very happy about that. Right. Yeah, I heard some good things coming from the Q&A with the devs, so hoping for some scenery gateways and things like that. Definitely excited to see that. But yeah, right. Anyway, I was actually powering up the airplane thinking you guys could see what was going on, but yeah, very embarrassing. It's a long and complicated story as to how I ended up getting that wrong, but it's certainly a lesson for me in the future. So we'll do our usual. The good news is the plane is sort of half powered up, so let's get our data request in. Now, they've changed more things in here, I've been told. I've had a few people commenting saying some nice things have been added, so I'm excited to see it. But we're going to get to test the new auto thrust system and the new thrust setting system, which is a big step up, definitely. Let's see if that's going to work. Doesn't seem to be too interested, actually. Not sure why, because there are a few things here I haven't had the chance to try out. Let me go to... I think it was in the menu. No, this should be an AOC. Init Requests. Normally this just this works very well, but it seems to be not too interested. Now, why might that be? Oh man, they have a lot of pages in here. Wow. These aren't ones that I even use on the real aircraft very often. Fantastic. So that's all data link. So I wonder if they're going to bring this little box to life soon. But yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that the init request isn't working. No name of SimBrief in the SimBrief settings. So where are the SimBrief settings in the MCDU, guys? If you could remind me of that, that would really help out, because I have done it before. Options. No. Has it? Line. There we go. No, that's fine. AOC. It's funny, I've never had to change it, but this was a big one. I know what's happened. I know what's happened. Stand by, guys. Let me just sort that one out. Yeah, you've got to have your SimBrief name, but I recently had to change a few things. That's funny. So that's different from the one in the iPad. I did not realize that. Right, thank you very much. ATSU, AOC, Init. There we go. Thank you very much. Great, guys. As ever, you guys always know what to do. Thanks. All right, there we go. So there's our flight, JetSet 261, and there is our route. Let's go to perf, weight, and balance. Let's do the request. Now, we are supposed to take, as ever, it's going to be a busy flight with all that traffic I can see out there. So we're supposed to take 7.5, and I'm going to take 8.5, which I'm going to put in this block. Please load. 8.4, there it is. We can turn these up while we're down here. Yeah, so the new auto thrust system is exciting, and we'll talk about that in a second or as we go. But there we go, 8.5 in there. So that is good, and that's loaded. And we can go to our OFP. Let's send the request. 120 passengers today. I'll just leave these weights as they are. It's not worth fiddling with for too much. So that's pretty close to what we were expecting. Maybe a little bit heavier, actually. But yeah, that should be absolutely fine. Good. Right, let's go to Init Requests. It is nice having all of this stuff now. They've got so many neat little features in here which make it so easy to use. Pedis33, good afternoon. Thanks for coming along. Bazante, hello to you. Mechanical Madness says, hi mate, dev or fly-by-wire? Sorry if I've already asked. No, this is the custom autopilot. So this isn't the dev version. This is the custom experimental version. It's not even on the installer yet, I believe. This is, you can get this from the Discord, their Discord page. If you go to the auto flight section, it's a pinned message. That's where I get it from. I'm going to have to put that into a video because I get asked that a lot. But it's very unstable. They're constantly changing things, so there is a risk of that. So this is custom autopilot, and now custom auto thrust is included with their own thrust setting system. So we're going to have the auto thrust FMAs back, and we'll see what the improvements they've made there. Yeah, version command could be a good idea. Thanks for that, Dante. Yeah, good idea. That's something for the future because it gets asked a lot, as I can understand. I will make a video on it. I normally talk about this mod in videos, but I haven't done a video on the updates for a while because they've done so many. Right, so data, aircraft status. They did update it recently, didn't they? Asobo, so that's good. Then we're going to Init A, which is all done, and that looks good. That's aligned, good stuff. So diff strip, so flight plan. Where are we going to depart? Where is the wind from today in Southend? It is 24022. That makes it pretty easy. It's going to be 23. And we're going out, not via Brinkworth Park, we're going out via Dover. So it should go, we want to go via Detling and Dover, but I don't know if it's got that in it. It's got the noise abatement in it though. That's interesting. Yeah, all right then, very good. We'll insert that. Flight plan, Detling, Dover. It does. That's good to see. That's really good to see. And then there's our route. Dover, Conan, Lesdo, Abaki, Lasat, Begar, Odina, Ekpal, Zibil, into Fiumicino. And we'll update that when we get further down. Thank you very much for your subscription to DJ Smith and to Matthew Grace. I hope you're doing well. Secondary doesn't work yet. And so diffs, radnav. We do actually need a bit of radnav today, I believe. So let's see if we can convince it to work. There's a bit of a noise abatement procedure. So if I go to charts, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Yep, so here we go. We're going to take off from 23, climb straight ahead until 2.5 India November Delta and 1,500 feet before turning. So India November Delta is the localizer DME. So let's put in 111.35 and put that on our sides. And hopefully that will show up as a DME if we select the VOR. So we'll select VOR up there, and there we go, India November Delta. So there'll be no needle because there's nothing to point at, but there is the DME, which is what we want. So that's great. Oh, not quite done down there yet. So finally then, Init B. Thankfully we can just load this straight in. That's a light 0 fuel weight. That's not what I'm expecting actually. That is really light. I was expecting it to be a bit heavier than that, but still we won't complain. We're going with a block fuel of 8.4 now. Get rid of the charts. 8.4, there it goes. Wind component for this one. Does it have the ability to load in winds yet? Let's have a look. No, you can type them in. So I'll cheat. I'm not going to spend too much time on that when we can just put in the component. For our flight today, we have wind component plus 36. That's good news. Plus 36. What's going on? So, taking off fuel with you. The fuel factor usage is way too high up to now, says Andreas. Ooh, okay. Okay, thanks, Andreas. Let's obey that then. How much fuel should we go to? Well, I like a heavy airplane. So the question is our landing weight. So our current landing weight is looking like it's going to be... We're landing with... It should tell us actually 4.5. So it's landing with 4.5 and a 0 fuel of 50. So we're landing at 54, 55 tons. So we could easily take another 5 tons of fuel. So that's not a problem. So let's load on a bit more then. Thanks, Andreas. Thanks for coming along to say so. It's always good to get the heads up on these things. So let's, we don't want to do anything silly. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go for 12,500. Let's just say, well, in fact, yeah, let's go 12,500. Let's say we're tankering fuel for this flight, because it could be that you're going to bring it back again. Although how far is it? It's having a problem where LF isn't in the database, no SIDS or nothing, says Alexander. Oh dear. Oh, well, if that happens, then we'll just have to work out what we want to do. And thanks for the tip, Andreas. It's way too high. So how high is way too high? Andy B says, it's a shame you didn't do Air 2000 livery on the 757. First place overflew in 1988. Still looks great on 320. Well, we've used the tapestry livery in the Flight Factor 757 in X-Plane. Okay, let's just put on a ridiculous amount. Let's put on 15 tons. Let's put on 16 tons. Or is that going to be too much? Is that going to put us overweight? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think 12.5. I think we'll go with 12.5 and we're going to hope that works. Adrian, thank you very much for £5 donation. Really kind of you, Adrian. Adrian says, your channel is so good to watch. This might sound like a stupid question, but if you pull the gear lever up when on the ground, will the wheels go up? No, they won't. You can't. It should be locked. However, there is a way you could get that wrong. It's possible that the switches could be set wrong, so there are certain procedures where that could happen. So you shouldn't ever try it, obviously, never try that ever, but the idea is there are sort of sensors and so on to stop it being an issue. But when the plane's powered down, that's a different matter. You could put it in the wrong position, all sorts, but it should have a hydraulic lock to stop it doing that. Right, apparently we need to take loads of fuel, so we're just going to go with 16 tons, and then if we're too heavy, we're just going to pretend that we didn't see that. Because that sounds like there's quite an issue ongoing. Samuel says, probably take double the amount of fuel you would take, and beware that might be enough. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll have to just divert somewhere on the way. Well, let's fill it up. If it's definitely going to overburn, let's go with 18 tons. There we go. Load on, please. 17,920. And we'll see now that center tank's got, there we go, 5.5 tons of fuel in it. All right, let's try it out. There's always something new to try out when you're testing this thing. So anyway, where were we? So right, we've done that. So now we're going to need to do our performance. So Init B, we've now gone for 17.9. There we go. So perf, let's do a flap 3 takeoff. This is going to be a ridiculously heavy takeoff out of Southend. I hope we've got the room to do it. There we go. We'll do a toga takeoff. I want to have as much thrust as possible. So toga takeoff, taking off at 68 tons. Yeah, I'm glad the zero fuel weight is light now. So there we go. That's performance done. Apparently the controller's not liking our routing, but we shall see what happens. Thank you all for the likes. Really appreciate it. Thank you. If you are enjoying the video, do please hit the like button. It makes a big difference. And thank you again, Adrian, for your £5 donation. Really kind of you. Afternoon, Dave. Thanks for coming along. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, really appreciate it. Right, APU's up and running. Let's get the APU bleed on. Get rid of that ground power. And let's finish up on the overhead. So I did do a flow. You'll notice ground control now works, which starts the voice recorder on the ground. We've aligned the nav. Seatbelts can come on now. The fuel's on. And APU bleeds on. Ground power's gone. Fuel pumps should be on. We did our fire test and our APU fire test earlier. You guys weren't a part of that, I'm afraid. But there we go. Now it's time to have a look at our departure in closer detail. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. Basically, we're going to taxi out. I've got the taxi chart down here. We're parked over here on the terminal, the south apron. Taxi out, squeeze up Alpha 3. We're going to be at the back of a long queue here, I can tell already. And then we're going to take off and climb ahead, 1,500 feet, 2.5 miles, then route direct to Detling and then to Dover. So we're on that leg there. And then from Dover, we head off on our route, which is great news. Right, let's get the QNH set, which is pretty low today. It's still a bit of a blustery, breezy day. Let's get constraint up on both sides. Flight directors up on both sides. And let's set that to nav. Okay, so we need to get our stop altitude. So I'm just going to set that to 49 for now. Leave the fuel page alone. Okay, I think we're getting there. Let me power up my radio panel. And now let's get in trouble with that sim controller. 127.125 is the ATIS. So actually, let's do the proper way, obviously. What am I doing? Have it printed out, ready for us. ATIS, not LAF, EGMC, departure, send. Dougal says this aircraft is fast becoming the Zebo of FS 2020. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Although I did see the working title CJ4, which we have used. We used in its early days on this channel for a flight we went from, what was it, Venice to Geneva. But yeah, they've been taken on by Asobo, it seems. They seem to have joined the proper team, which is amazing. But yeah, this is an excellent add-on, and the amount of features they're adding is amazing. Eric, thank you very much for your 100 donation. Really appreciate it, Eric. Thank you. Eric says, might be a stupid question. How did the APU run if the fuel pumps are off? Gravity? Yeah, you've got to remember, you can actually run the Airbus from gravity alone. It used to be a thing. Does that work? Oh, there it is. It just appears when you double-click. That's handy. I like that. Yeah, it used to be a thing where in this mod you would have to have all the fuel pumps on, but the Airbus, even if you turned all the fuel pumps off in flight, would keep getting fuel. It can gravity feed. The APU has its own system. It doesn't need the main fuel pumps to be on. They don't provide pressure in that way. Now, how that system works, I don't know, but yeah, you don't need the fuel pumps on for the APU to start. But yeah, interesting question. I've genuinely never thought about it before. Fusion Freestyle, thanks for coming along. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're doing well. Lucas, you're a little bit late, but so was I, so no worries at all. Apparently the developer version is broken too. Vertical speed not right. Not sure how Captain is going to fly. Oh dear. Aaron Roy, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. VS is fixed. Right, well, we'll see which version I'm on. I did give it a test fly and things seemed to work, so we'll see where we end up. No matter, we do our best on this channel. It's loads of great features to try out anyway. Tower 12725 seems to be the only one around. One 2775. Sorry, there we go. I mean, if they're upset about the direct routings, which was possible, I mean,
claiming actually 3000.
We'll find out.
Block 7263.
Okay, so packet 320 negative. Cleared to Rome. Sided to Dover. Preferred departure routing.
David says the APU has its own little fuel pump. There you go. Own little fuel pump. Yeah, I figured it's classic Airbus, you know, it's just all automated itself. What we can do is we can go to the ground tab and get rid of the external power, because we are on the APU. I think we're getting there now.
Standard noise.
Can't quite get our clearance, so we could run our checks. We could do cockpit prep is completed for both sides. Gear pins and covers removed. Signs are on and auto. ADs are up and in nav. Fuel quantity is 18 tons and balanced. Takeoff data is set. And barrier ref 1000 is set.
Thank you. You can get rolling now.
That was the ATIS. What did the ATIS give us? Because that was just yeah, 1000. Okay, perfect.
Agent 023 radio check.
Just need to work out which stand I'm on now.
Agent 023 radio 5.
Stand 11. We're using a mod for Southend. Southend Tower, good afternoon. Jetset 261, stand 11, A320 NEO, QNH 1000 hectopascals, request clearance, Rome Fiumicino.
Jetset 261, standby.
Right, cool. Yeah, this is a mod from flightsim.to. This scenery, really nice. Really adds, because the default one was a bit empty. Now that we're gonna have to, yeah, there's gonna be a big queue of aircraft for this one. Oh, we can also get the tug called up now as well. So we may as well get that ready. Cool tug.
Sorry, Jetset 261, just coordinating. Have you routed, after Conan, have you routed direct to Lesdo? Is that the flight plan you filed?
I would just check for you. Stand by. Conan, then Lesdo, yes.
Roger, stand by.
Here we go. Here we find out where we've gone wrong. Get the terrain up. There is a printer underneath the throttles indeed. Down here. Yep. There it is. Bazante says, what's the first flight you'll do in the new fly-by-wire A380 when it comes out? Goodness me, I haven't thought that far ahead. I've got to figure out a flight to do in the A350.
Charlie is ready taxi.
Yeah, the ground control, Samuel Wallace, they are now in the experimental branch. Yep.
Alpha 123 via Alpha 31 Tango Charlie.
Was there 653 contact Southend direct 132.45?
134.5.
When was the vertical speed fixed, by the way? Because I updated this a bit earlier today, so it was in the last couple of hours.
Good evening, Golf Delta Oscar Romeo.
Big Tango says, time to fix myself a drink before we start. Excellent, yep, we've definitely got time. There's going to be a bit of a queue getting off the ground here. Definitely. Yeah, the overhead panel does look a little bit green on the ground. It's just a ground effect thing. It doesn't do that in flight. It looks perfect, but there's something it seems to reflect up. But there is a...
Jetset 261, do you mind being rerouted?
That's fine. Ready to copy. Jetset 261.
Well, it's the entire route, so would you really like to fly the refund?
Okay, well, would you recommend we go and get ourselves a new flight plan then, or what's best for you?
I've already got a flight plan that's preferred. I'll just send it to you in text.
Okay, thanks. I don't fully understand what's wrong with our flight plan, but I'm sure there is a reason. Okay, right, we've got a new flight plan. Sorry to everyone who's flying along, but there we go. It's still going out to Dover, but then they want us to.
Director with 653 requesting a radio.
Yeah, this is wrong anyway because it repeats itself.
There's a 653, you're still with Southend Tower. It's Southend Director, frequency is 132.450.
Can't even get rid of that now. That's interesting. Detling Dover. There we go. Detling Dover, and then we're supposed to go Lima 9 to Conan. There's always. Oh, this is where it's going to go wrong. Okay. Let me think here. We may have to abandon VATSIM because it's going to take me too long to do a whole new route, and like I would say that we're going to run into so many issues with this exact problem. From Dover, we want to take the Lima 9 airway, and it's just going to give us a mismatch. It always does this. Right. I can't wait till the new lateral nav system finds its way into the sim. Right, guys. I'm having a think here. VS should be good now. Excellent. Thanks. That's a non-standard Selco code indeed. Victor Tango, yeah. That's made by Andy very kindly for us. Victor Tango says, could that happen in real life? That ATC give you a different flight plan? They wouldn't give you a whole different flight plan. They would tell you to go back to your company and file a new one. Let me just see if there's anything we can salvage from this one. The problem is, with a whole new flight plan, obviously it's different fuel burns and so on. So typically the company will contact you about a new flight plan in advance. Say it avoids a slot or some sort of time restriction. Maybe you've got an hour delay waiting for a slot, but they can find a way around it. Let me just see. Conan, Uplink 6 to Coxie. We weren't even going via Coxie at all, were we? No. So what I might do...
And Airbus 31 Tango Charlie is ready to go.
Let's see if I can get into
coordinate.
sim brief. I'm going to just quickly try something, guys. I'm going to just make a new flight in sim brief. There we go, right. And I'm going to put in that route that we were just given. I don't know why we've been given that route. I really don't, but still.
Airbus 31 Tango Charlie, runway 23, clear the takeoff, Southend 240 degrees, 2 knots.
Sorry guys, this is not very entertaining. I appreciate that. The alternative is we just go, we just disconnect VATSIM and we just fly it, and that is my next plan if this doesn't work straight away, basically. But yeah, let's find out what the problem is, because I did analyse this route and the route was said to be fine, so I really don't fully understand where it's gone wrong.
320 is fully ready, requesting clearance to push and start, please.
Alpaca 320 again.
Fully ready, requesting clearance to push and start.
Conan, so the route that you guys can see is obviously all wrong. Fleet 607 to Coxie.
Start approved, face north.
Direct to Dixie.
After the A320 passes red left, clear to push, face north, Alpaca 320.
To Sutal, up in November 852 to Golf Tango Quebec, which is Grotacon. Papa Zulu 343 to Bega. Anyway, we may not have the fuel to do this if the fuel burns are as bad as people are saying, unless we can... I think we can top it up in Flight Simulator though.
I go from Oscar. Just apologies for the delay, I just need to coordinate your flight plan.
Roger, go from Oscar.
And then November 850, almost done guys, I promise, almost done. To Adina. Direct to Ekpal. I can't work out what was wrong with it. Tinku, Zibil, and that is our route. Okay, let's analyse that route. That route is valid. It's very similar to what we were going to do anyway. So let's generate that. Now, here's the question. Does anyone know how to clear out this one? Bit longer. You can normally do this in the real aircraft. You could swap the database and that would clear it all out, but there's not going to be a way to do that, is there? It's not going to copy over and in. Clickety clackety. Yeah. Still unable to change the initial flight plan by adding waypoints. Yeah, this is in the custom plane. No, there's been loads of errors. Yeah, I'm going to ask. I'm just going to see when that controller gets a chance.
Airbus 31 Tango Charlie, contact.
Yeah, that is a good idea actually. Let's do EGMC to, I don't know, let's just put in Gatwick. That might dump everything out.
245.
Let's do Init Requests. Nice.
Airbus 31 Tango Charlie, frequency 132.45.
Dover, Conan, Coxie, there we go. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. This is all fine. 370.
How's it going, tower citation?
Init B is still in with the fuel and the tailwinds.
At the maintenance area
There's
north
the flight plan, performance.
Roger,
So
number 2 for
again, if you ever ended up changing this,
Golf Delta
you would in real life you'd go through all of this again. You'd do it properly, and you'd have to do maybe even new performance if your fuel changed. But there we go.
After standard noise abatement,
Right, so let's do it then. So we've got aircraft status, that's all valid. Init A, Jetset 261, that's all in to Fiumicino, alternate to Naples. Flight plan is now correct, but we need to enter the departure. So from runway 23, we're going via Dover.
Cleared runway 23, right,
think, anyway, let me just
direct
check.
Evna, climb to 3,000, altitude 3,000 feet. On reaching Lambourne, climb altitude
Yeah, still
4,000
Dover.
feet.
I don't know why they want us to use airways to get there, it's just direct. It should just, according to the charts, you can just go direct as well, but there we go. Anyway, there we go. There is our route. Secondary you can't use. This Radnav 11135. Init B is all loaded. And performance. Okay. Jetset 261. We've got that new flight plan entered now, and we are ready to copy our clearance.
Jetset 261, Roger, cleared to Rome via the Dover preferred departure routing. After standard noise abatement, runway 23, turn left on track deck, then climb to altitude 3,000 feet, squawk 5243.
Cleared to Rome Fiumicino via the Dover standard departure. After standard noise abatement, left turn to Detling, climb maintain altitude 3,000 feet, squawk 5243, Jetset 261.
Jetset 261, correct.
Okay, he's very busy now sorting us all out, so I might ask if there's a quiet moment. But there we go, there's 3,000 feet up there. Let's get that squawk in. So squawk was 5243. I always end up doing it in reverse because of the way my radio panel does it. 5243, there we go. That should be, well, I'll put it to auto in a second. That's all, there we go. Okay. Okay, things are coming together. Things are coming together, guys. Thank you all for being so patient. If you are enjoying watching me fiddle around with the MCDU for, how long has it been? 50 minutes. Do please hit the like button. But I can only apologise to you guys for what a mess this has been. Almost like for 40 minutes. I know. Look, our tugs have been already. Most of our colleagues have abandoned it by now. Right, we're next for push and start.
I think we've left rather clear on the plan. I can't change it now. Sorry.
Jetset 261, request push and start from stand 11.
Jetset 261, stand 11, push start approved to face east.
Push start approved to face east. Jetset 261. Right, here we go then, finally. So, beacon on. Transponder.
Tower citation November 129 Charlie
to
Juliet.
Auto. Okay. Windows
route.
closed. Thrust levers are closed. Right below line. Windows doors are closed. Beacon is on. Mobile phone off. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is set. We are cleared to push to face east. So let's think about that in our heads. That is going to be nose to the left. Makes sense. So now look. Now I can release the brake because I know the tug's there. So let's release that parking brake. And then push. And nothing happens. There we go. The other Jason says, is it actually helpful to see you work through this stuff? Great stuff. Yeah, I'm glad. You know, I don't like to just turn it off or move on to something different because the reality is this is what happens in real life. You'll be about to go. You'll have done all your brief for some complicated departure and then they'll just change the runway on you or something. Right, we're going to face east. So I need to put the nose back. And this is where it's a little bit hard to use this because... No, other way.
November 129, Charlie Juliet, your route is invalid, so I'll send you a new route and text.
Oh, well.
Please call me back when you're ready.
We're just going to make do. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge to push back like this. But we will manage. Let's stop there. Set that brake. Yeah, that'll do. In some of the Scandinavian countries, that's all you'll ever get, and then they will just push you straight back. You're lucky to even get any sort of a turn. Right, let's start up those engines. So APU is all on and running. Let's go. By the way, guys, I've changed the stream settings, so let me know how the visuals are, if it's changed at all for you, if it's better or worse. Right, start the timer. Let's start engine 2. We're definitely doing 2-engine taxi to get out of here today. Croson Moon says, do you really push the thrust levers forward and back to idle to make sure they're idle? No. But what I do is I might, you put your hand on them in real life to make sure they are sat there. Because like we said, if they're not, the engines will just start up and accelerate. By the way, this is using the new startup system they had to implement for this new throttle control. So yeah, it's let's see how it works. Let's see if the timings work out. I mean, they'd already modified the old one to be very good, let's face it. So, what needs to see? Would expect to see some fuel flow by now. So this could be all related to the fact that the fuel flow isn't quite accurate.
Go from here. Push and service approved to Squawk 2172, please.
2172 or 2712, Golf Romeo Oscar?
2172.
New Squawk 2172.
There we go. Fuel flow's woken up. That's good news. Bit of a high oil PSI. Yeah, so this is all a work in progress, this thrust control system, but we'll see shortly why it is good that they're doing this. And you know, sometimes it feels like a step back, and I can see that because you know we didn't have the FMAs working and so on, but it's going to pay off, as you'll see when we line up. The spool up times have been corrected now, so you may remember previously when you went to set thrust on takeoff, the engines would rev way through where you wanted them to. Before coming back to where you had it set, and now they've got rid of that with a much better slow time. So yeah, no, actually, Eric, I increased the bit rate. that's what I did. So yeah, it was supposed to look a bit better. So I can only apologise for that. Checkpoint says still that blur after you moved, but I guess that's just YouTube doing it. Text are much better visible. Okay, yeah. I don't think there's a way to fix it. It's if you move around, especially on surfaces that are all the same colour, YouTube will compress it. There's just not much I can do. Samuel Evans says startup sequence isn't modelled at all yet. It's the next major thing. There you go. So the startup is to come, but still. That's why I haven't made a video on it yet. I hadn't used it properly.
Runway 23 via Alpha.
Still, it does seem to have some sort of a startup. That's a shame. The bit rate was increased. I promise I increased the bit rate. I shouldn't have asked. Right, engines available. Timer off. Check those engines are going to warm up. Put that there. Overhead panel. APU bleed off. APU off. Down we come. Reset. Flaps to 3. And trim. Where's the trim with all that fuel? Could be a bit forward, it looks like, actually.
1073.
Yeah, 20.3 today.
23 via Alpha, please.
20.3 on the old CG. Yeah. Oh. Alright, see if I can get this right. There we go. Right.
Easy 90, ready for
20.3. There we go.
Station calling, say again.
Easy 90.
Off start checklist, anti-ice is off, ECAM status is checked, pitch trim is checked at 20, rudder trim is at 0.
Hold possession, easy 90.
Jet set 261, request taxi.
Jet set 261, taxi on point Alpha 1, runway 23 via Charlie and Alpha.
Charlie and Alpha to Alpha 1 for 23, jet set 261. Right.
Tower Citation November 129.
Those two lights
Charlie,
on.
Julia, we got our
Finally. I'm going to get complaints in the video after the stream. I always do when it's too long. Airbus Pro, hello to you. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing well.
Go ahead.
So you'll see the spool up time on those engines is slower now, which is much more realistic. Kelly Smith, good to see you. Thanks for coming along.
November 129 to Charlie Juliet, cleared to Rome via the Dover preferred departure routing after standard noise
it could just be YouTube compression.
23, turn
Not
left
sure.
on track.
Not sure.
Lots
of traffic here though. Lots of traffic. Right, let's do our flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full down, full up, neutral.
November 129 Charlie Juliet is cleared Rome.
And pedals, brakes work.
The Dover departure.
There's full right, full left. As I've said before, not an issue in real life. You can do that while disconnecting it.
Climb 3000, squawk 6223.
Correct.
Yeah, look at that. They do rev much nicer now, those engines. It is really noticeable. This is a freeware scenery for Southend that was on flightsim.to. Someone recommended it before our group flight. We were here not long ago for a group flight, which is why I thought we'd come back again and revisit. We're going to zoom up to 3,000 feet with a flap 3 toga takeoff. We'll be there in no time, so I'll have to get that autopilot in fairly promptly. I hope my commands will still work. There we go. Absolutely fantastic livery. First choice, obviously Air 2000 became first choice after Air Tapestry livery. They disappeared into first choice. Right, let's not go too far. We were cleared to Alpha 1. What's this one? So we're joining Alpha. Let me just check the charts. Alpha 1 is down by the runway. Perfect. So yeah, we're just following everyone else. We can do that.
2 knots.
Clear for takeoff, I'll pack a 320.
I'm still using the Thrustmaster Airbus Session Proof rules. Yep. To those of you who have had trouble with that, there was a way to fix it in the iPad, which I'll talk about a bit later.
Southend Intelligence at 23 X-ray with information Charlie, QNH1.
Nick says, how long is that runway? It's a 1900 metre runway.
To Manchester.
Stand by.
We'll go jets at 23 X-ray.
There's a jet set. Excellent. Great to hear. Yeah, busy. This is one of the busiest I've seen. But yeah, we're taking off at 68 tons on an 1800 metre runway. To be honest with you, this could be a stretch of performance. We shall see. It gave me figures, but I didn't expect to need all that fuel. The reason we have all that fuel is because there's a bug in it at the moment. So,
Tower Citation November 129 Charlie Juliet, taxi, maintenance area north.
Yeah, they are working apparently on getting the charts onto the iPad. That would be nice indeed. Okay.
Citation November 129 Charlie Juliet,
set the
ready
brakes
taxi
here.
from the maintenance area north.
November 129 Charlie Juliet, roger taxi, Honor Point Delta, hold short runway 23.
Delta short
And
23, citation 9
let's run through our checklist. So we've done our flight controls. Let's just
23.
check our departure, do a little brief. So, go to flight plan. There we go. We're going to take off, then make our left turn down, stopping at 3,000 feet, flap 3 takeoff, toga thrust, as we talked about. Let's get the radar ready, predicted wind shear on, TCAS TARA, max auto brake, takeoff config, let the camera crew know we're going.
Director 132.
Okay, so for takeoff checklist, flight controls are checked, the flight instruments are checked, briefing confirmed, flaps are config 3 green in there, and config 3 blue in the MCDU. FMAs and takeoff data, we've got climb nav 1FD2 and we've got 125 and 130 armed with 3,000 feet as our stop altitude. Transponder is set to TARA. Eco memos takeoff no blue. So there we go. Alpha 1 is over there. Yeah, luckily we don't have to backtrack on this end, so that will save us a little bit. Lung control just came online. Oh dear. If they give us any complicated airways instructions, that's when it all falls apart, sadly. Runway ahead. Yeah, this is nice scenery. I like it. I like it a lot. Right, no closer than that, or you'd start to smell those exhaust fumes. Good stuff. Yeah, a full hour this took. But to be fair, 10 minutes of that was me just getting it completely wrong at the start. Aviation on the fly says, highest in pilot and all. Has anyone else run the 321X or the GTX 1080? It's been struggling FPS-wise for me big time, but I guess it's too outdated. It could be your processor, to be honest, because I struggle with the A321X as well, and I've got an RTX 3080. I don't struggle to where I can't play it, but I think, yeah, look, we've already burnt 300 kilos. Oh, we'll see how it goes when we get in there. Yeah, but it's definitely the heaviest airplane I have in the sim at the moment. No doubt about that. Do I think shared cockpit will come into the sim? I hope so one day, but for now I don't know. Hi, Martin Johansson. Change to ARC mode. Yep, there's ARC mode. I read my mind. Each time you move the camera, it takes about 4 seconds for it to look like HD. Okay, maybe I'll stop moving the camera so much. Toga says, but the exhaustive fume smell is amazing. Nothing like some burnt Jet A1. Best smell ever. There you go. Not everyone agrees. The Neos smell different. So when you're taxiing behind a Neo like this, it honestly smells different to how it does behind the older aircraft. It's really strange, and I don't know why, but it just does. Different temperatures and so on, I suppose. Jen says, I have a 3090 and get 30 to 40 FPS. There you go. Yeah. I mean, I've got an i7, and if I had an i9, I feel like
Gpws 5 Alpha Mike, you're meant to be flying out for at least
things would be better.
1.5 miles. Can you please turn right heading 240 degrees for separation?
Apologies, right heading 240 degrees.
So, there you go. Let's just check we've got that. We do have that. That straight ahead bit first before our left turn. We've got our DME in here as well. Let me just check the Navigraph.
And Golf Romeo Oscar, we're going to have to delay our flight, unable to start this time.
So we are going straight ahead
129 Charlie Juliet, taxi on the wind down.
to
Are you able
1 mile, Indian November Delta. 1 mile.
Can we get back to you? Or
Engines are warm.
Want to run some numbers just to be sure?
ATC is VATSIM. Look up VATSIM Aviator Henry. Yeah.
You can continue.
Giuseppe, thanks for coming along. Giuseppe says, shared cockpit is coming. They're working on it. There you go, fantastic. Now, to be fair, shared cockpit is a really... I can see why that's difficult, and I don't mind. I think they deserve some slack on that.
Contact Southend Director 132.45.
Lateral navigation, I'm less... I feel like that should be further ahead than it is. But for shared cockpit, for the Asobo team, then yeah, that's an amazing feature. I'm so impressed with the last updates to Microsoft Flight Simulator. To get contrails and that UK update was really, really good stuff. So, yeah. Richard Chester says, bringing back fond memories of the 320 in the left-hand seat. Nice work. Looks to be good freeway scenery as well. Yeah, it's really nice freeway scenery. Thanks for coming along, Richard. Good to see you here.
Easy 1073, runway 23, cleared for takeoff, Subson 24.
Carol says, will you fly the CRJ from Aerosoft? Release date is 4 days. Yes, I will. I haven't decided when. I don't know if I want to stream it immediately or not, for a few reasons, but...
Tower 9 Charlie.
Yeah,
Juliet,
I definitely will be flying it at some point, no doubt.
Bravo 1.
Roger, hold Bravo 1, runway 23 via Bravo.
Okay.
Bravo 1, runway 23 via Bravo.
Takeoff like this could be a PAX off takeoff as well. Let's do that.
Charlie Juliet.
There goes our colleague, I believe, anyway. See the grass waving. Up they go. Yeah, Corrosive Moon liking that waving grass as well. Yeah, I agree. It's nice.
Jet set 261, line up runway 23.
Line up, runway 23, jet set 261. Alright, clear on approach, get all the lights on. There we go. Let's turn on that light up there as well. Brakes released. Good, it's time to get moving. Finally. Yeah, I can't believe the start. I still can't get over that. It will happen again, I'm sure. We've done so many streams on this channel. It's bound to happen. Now we've got a good headwind here, which is why I'm optimistic that this should work out, and we can see that grass waving, and that windsock was pretty much horizontal. So that the headwind will allow us to take off on a a shorter distance, obviously. Guru KN says, I joined VATSIM January 21st, 2020, just because of you. Thank you so much for the inspiration and the community. That's great. Thank you, Guru KN, and thanks, to the community and Discord. It was so helpful to people like you trying to start out.
Bravo 1.
Stand by. Easy 1073 to aircraft that's paused ahead, turned right heading 220 degrees.
Turn right heading 220 degrees.
It happens. There we go. Right. Cabin is secured. Engine mode selector is norm. TCAS is TR8, and let's take the packs off. Right. Now, I don't think it makes any actual performance difference in this aircraft yet, but we shall see. So, we are ready to go.
And Southend Golf Delta Oscar Romeo Oscar engine started. Do you need to refile or are able to accept the existing flight plan?
Let's get some more of these lights on.
Request taxi instructions.
This controller does not seem too impressed with us today.
Bravo 1, runway 23 via Charlie and Bravo.
Bravo 1 for runway 23 via Charlie, Golf, let's go.
And make sure you have your score exact set 2172, please.
He's being nice though, with a lot of aircraft in a tiny airport. Ground controller's on. Yep, that's fine. That would normally go off. That light should go off after both engines are running. Is it one engine or both engines? It does turn off after the engines are running because the recorder starts running automatically. And what that does is it turns it on before the engines are running.
Jet 261 runway 23 cleared to take off, Southend 240 22 knots.
Go take off 23, jet set 261. Right, there we go. So if you can, watch carefully the engine. So I'm going to set 50 and look how they spool up. Just holding it on the toe brakes. Oh, start the timer. And you see that they gently accelerated and now they're sat at 50. They didn't go through, which is great news. Right, off we go. Mantoga SRS, auto thrust is blue and armed. Yeah, accelerating really quickly, as you'd expect really with that 20 knot headwind. 80 to 100, side six to neutral. No problem. Great sound effects as ever. V1, rotate. Up we go. Rotate lower working nicely. Positive climb, gear up, nav.
Sorry, Jet Set 23, so apologies for the delay, just a lot of coordination there.
Right.
Autopilot
1. Going ahead to 1 mile.
No problem,
Oh, it's changed. It's gone to ISO. There is actually a distance for ISO, I think. Yeah, so on the ISO we need to be 1D ISO as well. There you go, no problem. So we should get the lever climb flashing now. I think that's all working. No, flaps 3 for this one. Right, there we go. You scared me there. I thought we'd done it flap full. So climb, lever climb, 2 clicks back, but you have to just be careful. Make sure your thrust isn't, or your speed isn't washing off to nothing.
Jet Set 261, contact Southend Director 132.45.
132.45, jet set 261, goodbye. Right, it's giving us thrust asymmetry. We'll see about that. We're about to level off above the green F, so let's go to flaps. Remember, they go from 3 to 1 in this case, and let's turn on a pack. So 1 pack can come on, then we're going to wait 10 seconds. It's going to give us lever asymmetry, but it shouldn't do. They are in the right place. Speed out to start, auto thrust. We can actually turn already. It's that point is further ahead, but yeah, let's just clean up first. S to 0 and 13245. So I think we may get in trouble here for not turning fast enough.
Is 90 line up runway 23?
Line up and wait runway 63, easy, 90.
Okay. One, 3, 2, 4, 5. Is that the right one? Yep. Southern Director, jet set 261, turning left now to Detling 3,000 feet.
Jet set 261 Southend Director, hello, climb to altitude 4,000 feet.
Climb to altitude 4,000 feet, jet set 261. Okay, 4,000 feet. Does VS work then? Let's see. That's the question of how up to date my version is. There we go, vertical speed plus 500. There it is. So lever asymmetry, yep, not sure why we're getting that. Ah, there we go. If I just nudge them into the right place, speed, vertical speed 500, and auto thrust is engaged. So the gear is up, the flaps are at 0. Disarm the ground spoilers. Get rid of the nose wheel lights. Out blue 4000, all working out. Great stuff. Yeah, Andreas Kuther says, maybe add a bit more dead zone in your throttle config, larger difference between low and high, that will fix the throttle being so sensitive. Yeah, you know, to be honest with you, I added what I thought was quite a big dead zone earlier, but it didn't work. I'm going to have to do a whole video on that. I don't think I can even explain it in the tutorial, sorry, in a live stream. I think it needs to be a tutorial for setting up the thrust levers, because there's a clever system to do it now, which they've added into the iPad. So yeah, I'll have to I'll do that another time. But still, we've got it working. There we go. I just won't touch the thrust levers. Thank you all for coming along and watching. 590 of you. I hope you're enjoying it. Do please hit the like button if you are. It makes a big difference for the channel. Let's run our after takeoff checklist. Firstly, we've got to turn on that other pack. There you go. 10 seconds and the other one can come on. Okay, after takeoff checklist. The landing gear is up. There it is. Flaps are at 0. Yes, they are. Packs are on. Barrier F to come, so we're just waiting there. Let's get a nice... I really like some of these fixed cameras they added. Really nice. Maybe there's a nice engine one. Ah, lovely. It. And away we go, off on holiday.
261 contact, Sense Director 132.7, goodbye.
1327, Jetset 261, thank you, goodbye. Thames Director, Jetset 261, climbing 4,000 feet to Detling. Thames Director, Jetset 261, 4,000 feet to Detling.
Jetset 261, Thames Director, good afternoon, climb to altitude 5,000 feet.
Climb altitude 5,000 feet, Jetset 261. So there's no surprise here why this is happening. We're trying to carve out right underneath London, of course. So there's 5,000 feet. Let's put in another, I'll do 1,000 feet per minute. Yeah, no surprise at all. Yeah, look at that. We've got through 1.1 tons of fuel already. I have my fuel tab ready to go if we need it. There's 5,000 feet armed and blue, and up we go. And there's our route. Heading out to Dover now, so we're done with Detling. It is a gusty day here.
Jetset 261, climb now, flight level 100, X-flight passing altitude 6,000 feet. Jetset 261, climb now, flight level 100, expedite passing 6,000 feet.
Climb now, flight 100, expedite passing 6,000 feet, Jetset 261. Alright, we can do that. So expedite through 6,000, so we'll go 10,000 and pull, thrust climb, open climb, so now we're going to get the best climb we can. We could press expedite, but it would be too much even in this situation. And then we're going to set standard, because we're going up to flight level 100, so there's standard set on all sides. Out blue, flight level 100, so barrier F is now on standard, that's the after takeoff checklist is complete. Right, so we're going to go rocketing up. You notice we picked up a bit of a tailwind there. So we're already through 6,000. So now we've got to control that rate of climb because we are in London, remember. There's probably traffic above us. Otherwise, they'd have let us climb further. That's the thing. If they tell you to stop a climb or they give you a level off that's nearby, you probably know there's traffic above you. So there you go. We're through, let's just check. 6,000, remember, is on the QNH, which is over here. But we're at 6,700 feet. So we are above 6,000. So we'll do 1,500 feet per minute now. Packs are, packs provide air, so they take air from the engine and they feed it into the cabin and they give us.
261, contact London Control 129.425, good evening.
129.425, Jetset 261, good evening. 129.425. Oh, excuse me. London, good evening, Jetset 261, climbing flight level 100 to Dover.
Jetset 261, London Control, hello, flight radar heading 095, climb flight level 250.
With a 321, flight level 310 in both Ixura.
Stand by, Jetset 261, fly heading 095, climb now flight level 250.
Heading 095, climb flight level 250, Jetset 261.
London Control, speedbird 205, Kuna 1 Gold arrival.
Oh, excuse me. Right, let's get that in. 095 and
squawk
250.
0640.
Not a bad climb as we scrape out the edge of London. So there we go, thrust climb, open climb. There's 250 and we've got a heading of 095. Great stuff. O1P, thank you very much for your €10 donation, really appreciate it. O1P says, thanks for the great learning videos, understand the 320 better each flight. You're very welcome, O1P. Thank you so much for your donation, really appreciate it, very kind of you. Thanks for coming along today. And yeah, very kind, thank you, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to the channel, thank you.
330, to Julia.
Richard Gardner says, the scenery always seems to look better in these streams than it does on my system, and I'm supposedly running high ultra. Yeah, I'm running high, no, I'm running ultra at the moment actually, and there's a reason for that, I'll explain shortly. Right, so we're through 10,000 feet now, and accelerating. Get those lights off, they'll make a lot of noise in the cabin. Not a lot, they'll make some noise. Seatbelts can come off, turbulence seems not too bad now. Let's go to airport. Up here. Good stuff. Now it is struggling, I must admit. Now I've set it to ultra. So the reason I have it set to ultra now is because you'll have noticed that I did some videos recently. And when the frame rate goes too high, which it does in exterior views, not in the cockpit, but in exterior views the frame rate can go too high, and then my recording software can't keep up with it, and it doesn't like it at all.
Sorry, can you remind flyer A5 Alpha Mike flight level decline, please?
I've got 3 crossover there. With an 821 climb flight level 3.
There we go, I can see a queue of traffic on that map, which is great, and I can see a couple following behind, which is fantastic. That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. I wonder why they rerouted us like that. Is it just to keep us in controlled airspace? I never actually filed the new flight plan.
Stand by, break, Shenix 1 Alpha Charlie London, hello, climb flight level 290. Easy 90, London Control, hello, climb flight level 250.
250,
AC 455, good to see you, thanks for coming along.
2737, contact.
Yeah, so some discussion about why do we turn off the packs for takeoff. The reason you do that is by turning off those packs, they take air out of the engine that the engine wants to use for thrust, because it squeezes the air, then it sets it on fire, sends it out the back under high pressure, and that's how we push the airplane forward. What we're doing with the packs is we take a little bit of that air before it's set on fire. So we're taking a bit of air out of basically the intake of the engine. It's like blocking off a little bit of the engine. So we're stealing some of that air to pressurize. Now that's fine, and the engines have enough thrust to do it. But if you are on a short runway and you really want all the thrust you can get, if you go toga and you have those packs off, that's the most thrust you can get out of the engine, really. Same if you use the anti-ice, that would make a difference. I'm going to turn off ground control.
With you.
There we go. Just going to skirt over the top of these clouds.
628 London Control, hello, climb now, flight level 130.
Guru KN says, this is the first time I've heard of someone complain of too high frame rates. Now I know. And I know it sounds ridiculous. It's not a problem in the cockpit. It's just in these shots where my sim does happen to have no trouble running quite well. I'm very lucky with the computer I have. Look at that livery, glorious. So yeah, so that's why I wish VSync worked, because VSync solves that problem. With VSync, I can force the simulator to run at 30 frames a second. I get 30 frames smooth. My recording software can handle it, and I get nice smooth footage, and everything works. But I never, for some reason, since one of the updates, I can't get VSync to work at all, and I don't understand why. Slick says, great videos as always, been following you for a while, learned a lot from you. Thanks so much, Slick, thanks for coming along to say so, really appreciate it, and thanks for joining us today. This is just perfect, this is just what it looks like. Oh, there's a dog out there. Masterplex says, how accurate is the live traffic in this game? I haven't looked, I must admit, I haven't tried it much. Ashley says, why not limit it in the NVIDIA control panel? Yeah, that's my next thing to try. I was trying to avoid doing anything like that. I wanted to do it with the game, with the hope that that would be the smoothest way to do it, and it used to work really well, but I don't know if it's my computer or if everyone's had this trouble, but the VSync does not work at all. Yeah, okay, NVIDIA control panel, let me write that down.
628, turn right, heading 290 degrees.
FPS limiter. I just hope that doesn't slow down the performance in the cockpit. That's my worry. But as long as it doesn't, it'll be alright. Or the profile inspector. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, okay, a few of those things to try. It never seems an issue for the streams. My computer's always struggling with the streams slightly more. But certainly for the videos, it's an issue that we've had.
Standby, should be with 1371, turn right, heading 240.
I use OBS for recording, absolutely. Yeah, OBS, Guru.
Right, heading 240 degrees, cleared ILS runway 27 right, speedbird 1371.
5512, speed 280 with you.
90551, London Control, roger. Break, Shamrock 628, heading to London 127.825. Shamrock 628, report you're heading to London Control 127.825.
Yeah, I agree. It does look like they've sent us a route to take us right through that's in coverage. Yeah.
Speed 830, stop climb flight level 120.
Stop climb flight level 120, speed 830.
Shamrock 628, disregard, remain on this frequency.
Roger, disregard.
We are on VATSIM indeed.
Royal 750, flight level 200.
Okay,
Ryanair
all going very well.
8750, roger.
Not climbing very
Level
fast.
180.
I must confess, I'm a little bit surprised. 1500 feet per minute through 200.
Sunrock 249, hello, climb now, flight level 110.
It's strange. It is strange. This might explain the extra fuel burn.
Golf contact Garrick Tower 124.225.
15.8 already. Yeah, we burnt 2 tons. 18, yeah. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Reckons arriving at 12.3, we shall see. Oh, it's doing the old notification trick again. I do apologise. I'm just going to turn off the alert box. It's sending all the old alerts, and I don't fully understand why. VSync does seem broken, says Toga. Excellent. I'm glad it's not just me.
London load, Lufthansa 423, flight level 350.
Lufthansa 423, London Control, hello, redirect
1311.
Conan and Squawk 7236.
7236, direct Conan, Lufthansa 423.
Control, hello, Ryanair 34 Juliet.
We are off to Brussels control. So yeah, I think we have control for all this flight now.
Arrive for Juliet London Control, roger.
Brussels, good evening. Jetset 261, climbing flight level 250, heading 0905.
Jetset 261, radar contacts. Confirm next waypoint is Lesdo.
Next waypoint is should be either Coxie or we can go to Delta India Kilo, Jetset 261. We were rerouted by ATC. Yeah.
Jetset 261, you filed Conan, Lesdo, or Baki.
Yeah, sorry, that's what we filed, but we weren't. We were told by the controller on the ground before we departed that we needed to change it, so they gave us a new routing, which is probably not in that flight plan. So our current routing, we have Coxie and then Delta India Kilo and then Limgo. It's an interesting one.
Right. Jetset 261, that is changed, Conan flight level 370, direct to Delta India Kilo.
Level 370, direct to Delta India Kilo, Jetset 261. We'll update the flight plan. Thank you.
No needed, sir. I did it.
Thank you. Oh, there we go. We'll get through this. Right, 370, he's cleared us to, which is okay. Recommend max 39 and direct to Delta India Kilo. Insert. Does it go to nav on its own yet? Not yet. But there we go. Nav and open climb 370. Oh, that's a nice. That's good. That sequenced really nicely. That's good to see. Yeah, he's just cleared us straight through the airspace. Get us out of the way before we cause any more damage. www.320simpilot is the website for anyone interested. There you get links to liveries and guides, tutorials, reviews, and the A320X latest videos that I've done.
Realize 017, holding point Lima 2.
017, the wind is 24022 knots, gusty 32, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Toga says OBS adds work to both DPU and CPU, unfortunately. Probably still the best streaming software, but for now it will always have slight impact. Yeah, it does have a little bit.
Turn right after departure with heading 270.
Piano Learner says you can import the flight plans from Simbrief into the MCDU. I presume that in real life you can import company flight plans. True? Absolutely. If so, how? Pretty much the same way. It's done almost exactly how they do it here. It is loaded in through the if the ACARS is connected, then there's that little init request. So they've modelled it exactly as it works with the real thing. Yeah, for those when you flight that you do use ACARS to get the route. Yeah, sorry, Windows XP. That route you see there, that's the old route, and we've been changed about 30 times now.
Go ahead.
Checkpoint says, was the progress page working? Bits of it were working before.
127.1 for the climb. 127.1.
No, I don't know what parts of it are working or not working actually in this one at this stage. But no, I know the progress page is on the way, or certainly the heading and bearing, but for now it's not. Alan Story, thank you very much for your £5 donation. Really appreciate it, Alan. I hope you're doing very well. Good to see you here again. Let me get that alert box back up. That should work out better. Yeah, thanks for coming, Alan, and I hope you're doing very well. And yeah, we will see you. Well, thanks for coming today, and thank you very much for the donation. Really appreciate it. I've got a plan for our next stream, which will be X-Plane 11 after this one. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So thank you very much, Alan. Thanks for your donation. Thanks for supporting the channel again. There's those contrails. They are done nicely, and in my by the way, there's a video on my channel that I've got out about contrails. Contrails that I haven't spoken about them much before, so I just answer a few sort of common questions about contrails that I get, and also I've got a little cinematic sequence I added in that I haven't done on the channel before, but I enjoyed making. So yeah, if you're interested, that'd be great if you could check that out. But something I did notice in that video when making it is that the contrails they've added in Microsoft Flight Simulator have a very nice effect where they sort of go into a rainbowy colour haze at the back, which is, or if you catch them at the right angle, which is accurate to real life. So that is great to see. Yeah, this is a terrible rate of climb. Terrible rate of climb. There's no reason we should be doing 800 feet per minute here. We should see what happens. But yeah, thank you again, Alan, for your donation. Really appreciate it. What's the ground control button for? Seems like a dumb question. No dumb questions, Lucas. Which ground control button do you mean? Do you mean this one, ground control? It turns on the voice recorder before the engines are running. Otherwise, the voice recorder comes on when the engines are running. Yeah. Call sign is ANM261. Thanks, Guru. It should be on the overlay.
Ryanair 6728.
Is VATSIM mostly available in the US? No, it's available everywhere. It just depends. Depends on the time of day. Obviously, if you're trying to fly in the US, but everyone, you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning in the US, there's less chance you'll have that luxury of having VATSIM.
Attitude should be okay now.
Roger.
Elliot says, what is the process for now? Just sit and manage? Yeah, so manage the systems, deal with air traffic control, but doing fuel checks, engine or systems checks, updating the flight plan, talking to air traffic control. We'll keep featuring. There's a good tailwind there. That might help us out with our fuel. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Flight level 200, Beeline 017.
Having a little bit of coffee.
Turn right heading 350.
When does it speak? See you later.
350.
Mr. Espresso, good to see you. Mr. Espresso says hello. Hello everyone jumping onto stream. Good to see you, Mr. Espresso. I hope you're doing very well. Thank you to everyone watching, and like I say, if you are enjoying it, do please hit the like button. It makes a big difference. Dave Guyver says, if the fuel burn seems bad, it's because the whole party has run out of booze and has started drinking the jet fuel. There you go. Alexander Pasuto says, just returned. Are you able to get SID for the A320 for LIRF? Let's have a look.
Climb flight level 230. Climb 230, Ryanair 678.
We're going to have to explain that route to everyone. Oh, it doesn't have all the RLSs.
Ryanair 6728, right to and direct to Sopok.
No, it's missing a few, isn't it?
Right, direct to Sopok.
It is missing a few. Oh dear.
Beeline 017, right, heading 360.
If there's no controller there, we might get away with it. Nope, there is a controller there. Oh dear.
Turn right heading 360.
Well, let's just choose one. Let's choose... What runway are they probably on? They are on, or their wind suggests they got a southerly wind, yeah, so 16. Oh dear. Now I must admit I didn't go and check that earlier because I haven't seen one without it yet. We can set this to standard now. Oh, actually, in the real aircraft you can just click that and it goes to standard, but I won't bother with that. So yeah, so
continue right heading 020, Beeline 017.
Anyway, well, let's put in. We could do the VOR. We've got 16 right.
Easy 1073.
Oh, nav 16 left. We haven't had nav working, but it does seem to have arrivals. So it does have them. What's our route? Let's just see. Oh, you can't do that, can you? So we're still going via Zibble.
Ryanair 6728, contact Brussels 129er575. Bye.
So obviously there is an INS on 16 left, but if we did the INO 16 left, we may be just doing a visual, which would be an alternative solution here. Civil, I was expecting 3 Papa. That's a lot of turning going on. It's already got the VDEV. Civil 3 Papa. Civil. Insert. See what happens there. There we go. Yeah, so we have some of it working.
Turn right heading 050, BLN 017.
050, that's more than 90 degrees to the right. Confirm?
Confirm.
So yeah, Alexander, we seem to get some, but not all the arrivals seem to be in there. Yeah, visual approach, that could be an option, 05, yeah, agreed. We've got the star, so we can get ourselves there. Let's face it, we can just fly that nav line, descend on our own until we're visual. It won't be a problem. Alexander says, I don't even have the INS options. How strange. I don't know what's going on with that, Alexander. Yeah, really odd. First time I've seen that. I would have checked it otherwise. Toga says, request vectors for the visual. Exactly. Exactly. Can you see the contrails? Because I know in some long haul aircraft, if you sit far enough back, you do get to see the contrail, but they are nice additions, these wing views.
Brussels Federation 9 Charlie Juliet, how long you want us?
Robert says, I'm using the experimental build and getting correct fuel consumption. What build are you using? So I'm using the experimental build as well, but with the custom autopilot one as well. So that could be why there could be a difference. We're going to see. John says, what would happen if you just tuned the IS in the RadNet page? So that should be possible, but I don't know if that's going to work in the mod. That's my concern there. That is the only issue. Because in the real aircraft, it wouldn't matter. You could tune it up. You could also do backup nav tuning. So it's absolutely possible. But you could go into RadNav, tune the INS and the course, and make it work. I may try that. I may see what happens if we do that. Oh yeah, we can clear out that.
Jet set 261, contact Brussels 129575. Jet set 261, Brussels 129575.
129575. Jet set 261. Thank you, bye.
Beeline 3634, squawk 1000, descent flight level 18.
Oh, excuse me. Let's find out what's going on then.
Director Farman, you're wing 47 Yankee.
Nicholas says manually tuning the INS worked for them. Okay, there we go. We might be able to do that as well. Control, jet set 261, climbing flight level 370 to Delta India Kilo.
Jet set 261, Brussels, hello, identify direct to Limgo.
Jet Limgo, jet set 261. Oh, please tell me that's staying on our route. It is! Yes, there we go. Limgo, direct. 10.7 now, so 2 tons has vanished. How are we doing on the burn? So we've got 3.6 burn. Yeah, so 3 tons in the first hour would be pretty pessimistic. So this is a heavy fuel burn. It does add up. So 3 plus 4, so 17, 18 tons. Yeah, it adds up. Should be coming out the center tank. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to keep dropping. We shall see by final approach what it says. Giuseppe says, I'm pretty sure tuning the INS will work. Yeah, there we go. So we will probably just get away with just tuning it then. Alexander Pasuto is flying along, so hopefully the controllers will be okay. I might PM them before. Yeah, well, we've got the lateral navigation, so we can do the star and everything, so that's all good. So, yeah, we'll just tune it ourselves, or worst case, do it visually. Mark says, I wish I had the ears for VATSIM controllers. They just talk too fast to me. Yeah, it just takes a bit of getting used to. It is. But I know it's not easy. Yeah. Russell says, does the mod model RNP approaches properly in regards to final, etc. on FMA? It does do final on the FMA. It doesn't model the coding properly. Yeah, it's not ready for RNAVs fully, but it does work to some extent. If you set everything up right, you can make it work, but it's not as accurate as the real aeroplane. But it is possible. NASA says, how do you manually tune it? So, if we need to manually tune it, very simple. We go radnav, type in the frequency, type in the course. You can't actually do that course in this mod at the moment, so that won't matter though. I think it works anyway. The reason you type the course in is because that means on the INS page you'd get the right bar showing. It would be confusing otherwise, of course. Lucas says there's honestly VATSIM over Boston like 24/7. There you go. Very good. Mike says I'm just flying around the Channel Islands in the Just Flight PA28R and I'm loving it. Feels just like the Arrow I used to fly. Excellent. Yeah, I've used that a couple of times on the channel. It's excellent. Hoping to do a review on it if I can get my hands on the release copy. So yeah, it's been really good. Now here's something that they did say. I've heard that they're already working on, which is this angle. So we got drift on the airplane because of the wind, obviously, and the contrails wouldn't show up like that. Obviously, they'd come out straight out the back. You don't get this sort of drift compared to your contrails because they're obviously affected by the wind in the same way we are. Toga says, are you running the Navigraph Beta by any chance? Oh no, he's asking outside of, yeah. I'm certainly not. Yeah, the climb rate, I'm not sure what's going on with the climb rate. I mean, how heavy are we? We're not over 70 tons. 64 tons, I'd expect it to... I mean, 800 feet per minute at this level is probably alright. It's just I'm surprised it was so low earlier. Yeah, when you get up to these levels, and remember the whole time we have gained a tailwind, so that won't help the situation. Right, yeah, that fuel predicted is going to be dropping. 10.3 at the moment. Because it can't, basically, it wouldn't be burning 3.5 tons an hour up here. That's like a takeoff fuel burn.
Reference 131.12 jet on the runway goes bye-bye.
Yeah, Mark says, I wish I'd add the VOR indicators to the arc view. Yeah, that'd be great. So these needles here, you could tune a VOR like Delta India Kilo.
Brussels, hello, easy.
In. The airplane will actually tune them on its own, so they will show up there, and you see that. But we should also get a needle on the screen. But sadly, not modeled at the moment. Zibit25, thank you very much for your 5-euro donation. Really appreciate it, Zibit. Zibit says, happy to be a part of this adventure, Captain. Thank you, Zibit. It is feeling like an adventure now. The start where I was streaming to nobody for 10 minutes, which is pretty impressive. You missed all the music as well. I'm so sorry about that. I did have the timer and everything set up. And then the rerouting, and then the errors, and then the Toga takeoff, but it's been good. I don't like to... Yeah, like I say, I don't like to just... it's sort of the magic of VATSIM. VATSIM... Because, you know, we could do these streams without it, and we do sometimes. And VATSIM can often throw spanners in the works because the controllers want us to do something different, or they expect something different. But the reality is, as I said earlier, that's what happens. That is what the job is. That's why the airplanes can't fly themselves around. They can't adapt to these things. They do what's coded. What's coded has to be correct, and that's the end of it. Whereas we're there to manage everything else that's going on. And obviously, in Flight Sim land, we don't have half the other problems when it comes to sorting out, you know, delays on the ground, or baggage, or discrepancies, or anything like that, which is all our job as well. But in flight, you know, ATC will tell you to do things differently or not be happy with your flight plan. It does happen. Thomas Gray says, do you listen to any music? Do you mean in flight? In flight and when you're flying? No music at all. If you mean in general life, yeah, sure, yeah, I do. It's cold up here, Toga. It is -55. Excellent. I talked about it a bit in my contrails video. There seems to be some confusion about what these actually mean. We might chat about those once we've leveled off.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Samuel says those needles are done. They are being tested and then they'll be on the ND. Fantastic, Samuel. Thanks so much. See, there we go. We have some fly-by-wire hard-working contributors in our chat. Very, very pleased to have them here, and they've been kindly sending over these updates, or making sure that I'm aware of these updates. So yeah, so thank you very much, Samuel. That would be great to have those needles on this page. That would be good. Oh, turbulence. Come on, we can do it. It's not uncommon as well, by the way, guys. This happens. Sometimes you'll see the airplane level off. If you get a gust of wind the wrong way around, it will just level off here and you'll have to go into vertical speed. But if you do go into vertical speed, you have to be very careful because the speed might start reducing. It becomes a bit of a balancing act. Robert, sorry, yeah, I did see your question earlier. What is SRS? So I'll just let it level off, and then we'll talk a little bit about SRS. Back out star. There we go. So fuel flow at this point should come back to a ton an hour aside at most, maybe 800 kilos on a nice day in a NEO. So let's see what it does. But I have a horrible feeling it's going to sit at 3 times the fuel flow. So yeah, double wouldn't have been enough.
Left heading 060, that's true, thank you.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, so SRS speed reference system. On takeoff, the vertical mode will go to SRS speed reference system. That mode is designed so that as you are flying along and you take off, the vertical pitch bar of the flight directors will guide you to be at V2 plus 10. So you'll have takeoff thrust set, and then if your speed is getting slow, the vertical bar will lower the nose for you or move it up. So that's what SRS does. If you have an engine failure, it will target V2 exactly, and it will do the same thing to help you target it. So that's what those are for. Yeah.
Easy 1073, no further ATC, switch to Unicom 122.9, good day.
Getting these notifications again. I'm so sorry if you guys are actually donating. It's not showing up on YouTube. It just seems Streamlabs is getting itself muddled up.
Easy 32 Delta X-ray, contact Langen 135.35.
12535 confirmed?
Negative 3535.
13535, thank you very much. Good day, bye-bye.
Yeah, not sure. I haven't seen Pavel. If Pavel's here today, some of those are very. I don't know how old they are, but yeah, they don't seem to be quite synced up properly. Checkpoint says, I thought the 320 NEO should be more fuel efficient. Exactly, it should be. So the fuel flow per hour in the NEO should be 800 kilos an hour, whereas the CEO would be maybe 1 ton, 1.2 tons an hour, something like that. Yeah. Ryan Videos 94 says ATC is very busy today, just how I like it. There you go, excellent. Thank you very much, Daniel Peterson, for your 50-sec donation. Really appreciate it, Daniel. Daniel says, great streams, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for donating. Very kind of you. Thanks for coming along today, and I really appreciate you contributing towards the channel. And glad you enjoy it. I think Streamlabs is just going to keep doing this. And Windows C. I don't think I've seen Windows C today either. So alert box is going off, but Daniel Peterson, thank you very much for your donation. Really appreciate it. And yeah, the alert box is off just because it's getting confusing. But thank you very much, Daniel. Really kind of you.
Brussels Control, very good evening. This is B-Line for Bravo.
John Wells says, hi Captain, happy Friday. When you glanced at the overhead panel earlier, I saw a button labelled landing flaps 3 next to Gpws. Would you mind explaining what that button does? Yeah. So the Airbus is sort of set up to land flap full. If I wanted to land flap 3, I have to do 2 things. I need to, in the performance page, tell it that I want to land flap 3. So I'd say landing config 3. I'd press that, and it would then increase the speed. So V approach is 134 in config 3. It'll be a bit slower, 124 in config 4. So that's all that does. So that tells the airplane the speed. So when I manage the speed, it will target the correct speed on there. So that's fine. Very good. But the airplane also has Gpws, which is connected to the, don't mind the wobbling, it's just trying to find its way onto this green line. The airplane is trying to also tell you if you're in the wrong configuration. So if we don't put the wheels down, the Gpws, it does ground proximity, but it doesn't just shout at us about the ground, it also shouts at us when we're near the ground and not ready to land. It can see your configuration. So what happens is the Gpws is going, right, you're landing, and you told me...
Jet 261, contact your control west 135.25, good day.
13525, Jet Set 261, goodbye. So the airplane normally expects you to land configuration full. So if I wanted to land config 3, which is absolutely fine as long as the runway and permissions allow it, then I need to press this, and that tells the Gpws that I'm landing flap 3. If I don't press this, it will get upset, because on final approach it will see that I have flap 3. It says, well, why you think I think you're landing flap full, so it will shout too low flaps, and you have to go around and make sure you've done everything properly. So that's why we press that. It just tells the airplane we're landing flap full. Sorry, flap 3. There is so much air traffic control online today. I can't believe it. Friday afternoon, I suppose, in the
France 1745.
pandemic, I imagine.
Hello, maintain follow 360. Clear direct to Aldudo.
Direct uit Tuto on level 360 Air France 1745.
With rate 21, good day at flight level 350 and inbound is okay.
With rate 21, your control, hello, radar contact maintain 350.
Maintaining 350 with rate 21.
Good weather, control 1, level 350.
Nah, busy.
310 with you.
3233 Alpha, your control, hello, Squawk 6740.
Bella Jurassic says, hey to you, thanks for coming. Says, I have used the fly-by-wire experimental with custom autopilot before, but can no longer find where it's pinned in Discord. Yeah, it's pinned in their autopilot section. It should be. It was this morning anyway.
Swiss 233 Alpha, Squawk 6740.
Radar contact.
Control Jet Set 261, flight level 370 to Grotocom.
Flight level 350.
Yeah, that's what we're
General 155, your control, good evening, Squawk 0600. Squawking 0600, Shamrock 155.
There is a rule to that, which is whenever two aircraft talk at once, your aircraft is never the one that gets heard. It is just the law. There is no way to make it work. You will always find that when two people transmit, they never hear you.
Good evening, Swiss 2.
They always hear the other airplane.
Level 330 inbound Mugdi with you.
Swiss 2332, your control, hello, Squawk 0601.
Ah, there we go. Space Nano says, hello, was the tower controller there? Sorry for making you redo an entire route. Can be difficult. Airport to control with all the coordination that is needed. No problem at all. We were wondering, I was going to ask if we had the time what was wrong with the routes, but but thanks for taking the time to deal with us all. And luckily, we managed to find a way to get the route into this airplane. In X-plane, it would have taken 2 seconds. We could have reloaded the whole route, but still, there we go. We actually managed to download it, so it worked out. But yeah, I can imagine Southend being so close to London has all sorts of headaches. We haven't even managed to check in with this controller, so it's a busy day on that sim clearly. But thanks for coming along, and thanks for controlling us out of Southend, because we've got nice spacing for everyone.
330 and report ready for descent. Swiss 2332.
Speedbit 87, Juliet Victor, maintain 330.
Ryan Video says, I thought I was going to have to disconnect that sim as I kept getting the message runway too short, but luckily it let me take off flaps 3. Is that actually possible to do in the real world? Yeah, you can take off flaps 3, yeah, flaps 1, 2 or 3. You just can't take off flaps 4.
Eurotrans 212, Euro control, hello, maintain follow 330. Proceed direct to Nizar.
Direct Nizar, Eurotrans 212.
Control Jet Set 261, flight level 370 to Begar.
I'll send again.
Jet Set 261.
Jet what?
Jet Set.
Jet Set 261, welcome aboard, maintain 370.
Wilco, thank you, Jet Set 261. That's funny, that's not the first time the Jet Set call sign has caused problems, but it was a real call sign anyway, so it must meet the criteria for being used around the world. They like to have 2-syllable call signs. You'll notice a lot of them are Kestrel, Jet Sets, Speedbirds. So you obviously get longer ones, but Tom Jet, 2 syllables is the common choice. Cactus. Rome ATC is online, Jorg. That could cause us problems. We'll see. Sort of hoping that we'd be on our own, but again, like I say, I can't resist VATSIM. It has two advantages: a bit of dynamic additions to our situations to give us something to think about. Also, it allows us to fly in a group. This livery, I'm not a fan of mainly white liveries. Normally, I'm not that keen on them, but there's something about this one I really like. I suppose it's just that rose-tinted goggles in my mind. Lucas says, what is our fuel flow? So our fuel flow is ludicrous, and we are going to probably have to refuel mid-flight, do a bit of mid-flight refueling. 2.8 tons an hour. Again, that's, you couldn't burn that much fuel up here if you tried. The engines just can't do it. There's not enough air up here to burn that much fuel. It's adding up, so everything else is working, just the fuel flow is wrong. So 5.7 plus 12, so that is 12, 17, 18 tons, yeah. This number will keep dropping, 8.6. We are shortly going to be emptying that centre tank. Yeah, it's gone. Very recently, in fact. So what we can do, let's just practice now, so we don't find we actually do run out.
VZ 321, your control.
I'm just going to fill up that centre tank again.
VZ 321, your control.
Let it keep burning from that.
Eurowings 470 Yankee, your control.
Your control west, good evening sir, Eurowings 47 Yankee, flight level 320.
Eurowings 470 Yankee, your control, good evening, maintain 330.
Wow, that's not right, is it? Because these should be full first. Let's fill these up. There we go. We'll just keep adding fuel to ourselves, we'll be fine.
Okay, travel 2007, your control.
TNT calling Nitro, says Russell. I thought TNT calling Nitro was really cool. There you go, that's a cool one. DG27, good to see you. DG27, long time viewer on the channel. Thanks so much for coming along, DG. I hope you're doing well. Great to see you here. I hope things are well with you, whatever's going on with you in life at the moment, DG, but it's great to see you here again.
Ryanair 6494, your control. Hello, Squawk 1000.
Yeah, that's a bit of mid-flight refueling. Yeah. I'll probably have to do that again before we land. Blake says, I don't think I've ever seen a jet set aircraft before, actually. It's got a cool livery. Yeah, it's nice. Manta. Yeah, there we go. You guys are right. Manta. Yeah, we got it sorted straight away.
Zero control, Alpine 98 Delta Kilo 7370.
Brian. Yeah, so there are a few 370s.
Right now, 6494, maintain flight level 400.
Landing gear 001 has, yeah, that's a good guess. Alexander Pasuto says, so this is what I've decided to do for my Fiumicino stars. They're not showing nor the ILS frequencies. I'll input the star manually and tune the ILS like in the Boeing. Yeah, that's going to be our plan as well if we get the ILS.
Easy 535.
And if it doesn't work, we'll just do a visual. That is cheating, Russell, but if any of you saw me try and refuel mid-air in DCS and an F-14, you wouldn't want to watch me do it in this stream, because it would take the rest of the stream, and I may get about 10 kilos of fuel transferred. It is so hard.
Mike Victor for 1997, your control.
AC445 says, that's one inefficient NEO. You sure they didn't strap on a pair of JT8Ds to this aircraft? Yeah, it could be. JT8Ds, yeah, exactly. So maybe we'll have to use those pretty soon, eh? I'm certainly thinking about it. Jonas says, is there any speed limit while taxiing? Yeah. Straight lines, mostly 30 knots. There's no actual limit. Airports don't. Airports will put in their notes sometimes a limit speed, so they'll say on the apron no more than 10 knots. But if you're on a big long taxiway like in Amsterdam or somewhere, 30 knots could be absolutely fine. It just depends on the conditions. If you're on an apron or near other aircraft, you don't want to be doing 30 knots. There's a Beluga, excellent. There's turns in the Airbus. So I'll give you the generic sort of Airbus ones. If it's an empty, clear taxiway, 30 knots, sort of the most you want to be going in any situation. The reason is, if you have a brake failure, if you have a blown tyre, something like that, you want to have control over the aeroplane. If you're doing more than 30 knots, it's going to be really hard to sort it out. If you're doing a 90-degree turn, like a sharp turn onto stand, obviously, that's very slow, that's 5 knots. Ish. If you're doing a sort of a general turn around a taxiway, then they tend to be about 10 to 15 knots, something like that. Mark says the A400M has air refueling, but the military version. Yeah, I've never seen a civil aeroplane with it. Victor Tango says, you mean we do want to watch a refuel attempt? Says Victor Tango. Yeah, you don't. I promise. It would be. I've managed a handful of times out of many attempts in the F-14. Masterflex says, why didn't they have pilots put a seal of approval on the engine logic and all that before releasing this game? Yeah, there were loads of things wrong with the A320 when it launched. The reason we have a few problems with the engines today is purely because I'm using a version I shouldn't be using to stream with, but I can't resist it. I can't. The allure of having a working thrust system, it's just too much. I can't bear to miss out. So the result is we end up with these glitches, but it's not the fly-by-wire team's fault. It's my fault. They're still working on it. It's this version isn't even in the installer because it's so in development still.
Proceed direct to Mokip.
Absolutely corrosive. We're turning it into an F-15. Yeah, well, we're burning as much fuel as an F-15 with afterburner probably. Actually, that can't be true. Well, maybe. Maybe we're burning more actually.
Maintain 350, EC8 1 kilo.
Alpha Mike 261, you're in my face, my positive Unicom 1
yeah. Mateo says, same here. Every time I try to refuel in DCS, it takes me 20 minutes to get 2 cups worth of fuel. I then inevitably lose it and gun down the tanker. Yeah.
Beluga 999, contact London 126.75. Correction 126.075.
We are being moved on. I must have missed a few calls there. Right, on to
Beluga 999, air control.
Unicom.
Beluga 999, contact London.
There we go. Oh no, don't turn right. Don't turn right. Yeah, I agree, Matteo. I've done the same thing, and I've never taken on more fuel in an air-to-air refueling attempt than I've used trying to do it. So it's always a net loss. It's never worked. 901 says, if VSync and frame rate limit settings aren't working, you can try and install the MSI Afterburner tool, which includes Reaver Tuner Statistics Server, in which you can set a frame rate limit. Thank you very much, 901. I will go with the NVIDIA tool first. I haven't tried that yet. That'll be my next attempt. Yeah, Fly-by-Wire are doing an incredible job, no doubt, no doubt. John says, have you ever thought of streaming the Concorde for X-Plane? I have thought about it. I have it. I've had it for a long time, in fact. I've had it since last summer, but I never got around to learning it because last summer I was actually flying for the latter part of the year. It's just been the start of this year that I've done absolutely no flying. So really now is the time to learn it. But in the meantime, I've ended up picking up some other airplanes. So we've since done obviously the 737-200, the Beluga, the A300s, this. So because I got the Concorde before even this came out, so it's definitely on my mind and something I need to learn. But I want to know what I'm doing, and I'll need to learn the INS system as well. David says, just looked it up, an F-15 can burn up to 385 gallons per minute. So there you go. That's pretty impressive, actually. Robert says, will you try the Aerosoft CRJ? Yes, I will. Oof, getting a bit bumpy. Seatbelts on time. You can see now that green effect on the overhead panel has disappeared. It's a ground thing. When we have aircraft in multiplayer flights behind us, it lights up the cockpit, and you get the same where the ground vehicle lights seem to come in. It must just be holes. Now that looks new. Is that a new texture? I don't remember seeing that before. I think that's been updated a bit. So they've got a bit of wear on the pedals, but they've really added the wear here on the tray table. This is where the paint wears off and you get that green anti-corrosive paint. As I've said before, whenever paint wears away in airplanes, especially on metal things, you expect to see a green anti-corrosion sort of layer sitting there underneath it. So yeah, that's pretty accurate. Although these parts are plastic anyway, these parts, but the wear has worn it away. I think the hinges are metal. I I can't wait till we can open it. I assume they're thinking of adding that. I don't know though. The footrests don't work yet either. If someone did ask earlier, that's why. I wasn't expecting them to work really. Right, to Rippus. I suppose we're not getting much terrain displayed either. But we're heading over to the Alps. Could be bumpy over the Alps with that tailwind, but it'll be bumpy as we get to the other side, really. One says, okay, I haven't tried the immediate option, looking forward to your report. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Matt Olsen says, I missed the beginning. Is there a reason the fuel burn is so bad? Yeah, we're using the custom testing version, and it's just something that's not been fixed yet. It will be added in. Russell says, it's called Chrome Etch, the green paint. There we go, Chrome Etch, perfect. Toga says, it works, Captain. I'll quickly check out NVIDIA control panel. The Reba Tuner Statistics Server application will limit your FPS. Perfect. Mr. Espresso says, Captain, recently I crashed before landing in Russia, got icing con message on EFD, pressed engine 1 or 2 anti-ice, but the bus lost control and crashed. I forgot to turn on engine ignition. Could that be the cause? I mean, engine anti-ice is there to... The engine anti-ice is there to protect the engines. So if you don't turn on the engine anti-ice in icing conditions, you'll get a few things. You'll eventually get high vibration, and then the engines may flame out or shut down. So that should have covered that. Same for ignition. So if you're putting the engine mode selector to ignition down there, which I can do on my fancy TCA panel, look at that, very clever. If you do that, all it's doing is continuously relighting. I mean, it sounds like a bug with the sim, Mr. Espresso. Losing control, if you mean physical flight control, then that suggests that ice built up on the aeroplane, and we know that the ice model is too severe. So that sounds possibly like that's the issue. Because if you lose the engines, you wouldn't lose control of the airplane. Obviously, you'd run out of thrust, but you'd still be able to fly or guide the airplane, as it were. Ryan says, my sim just crashed thanks to Vulcan once again. Oh no, Ryan, it is. That's a shame. That is a shame. Yeah, we had a few crashes recently on the stream. 5 miles high says, how does the A320 flight model compare to the flight factor Toliss? Yeah, it's getting better. The Toliss, I haven't tried flight factor. Toliss is excellent, really, really excellent. This one, for takeoff, this one's great with the rotate law. So it's improving all the time. But yeah, I really don't know how to compare them too much more than that, really. They are improving this one, no doubt. Probably the Toliss is still slightly further ahead because it has all the protections and so on. So it covers normal law more comprehensively. Because it's a more mature product, this one is still being developed. Landing Gear says, what's the difference between the rain repellent and the windshield wipers? Good question. Rain repellent up here. So rain repellent is a fluid that you'll spray onto the windscreen, and it will stop the rain sticking or the drops sticking onto the windscreen. Because what they'll do is, when you're doing, when you're flying slowly, this isn't for use at any point except final approach or takeoff, basically. But if you're going at those speeds, the rain can sort of flood the windscreen. If you use rain repellent, it will prevent that. Now, it only works, this is important, in heavy rain or a really strong downpour, and then it's quite effective. It isn't effective in light rain or anything like that. That's pointless. So that's what it's for. Now, a lot of airlines don't use it or don't have it, but it is still out there. And it actually, that's what this bottle is. Oh, they've added a little gauge. So yeah, so that in the green means there's enough rain repellent in there, and then it runs out. So this is like the refill bottle or the gauge for it. And there's one on each side. The wipers obviously just white, but the rain repellent will squirt that rain repellent out onto the wing. That's right, onto the windscreen. You can actually see it. You can see it on the flight deck. I wonder if they've modelled it. I can't get close enough. It's a little thing that sticks out into the airflow. Jess Lone, thanks for coming along. Jess says, rate the vids, mate. Easy FO, based out of Gatwick here. Just did my return to work last month. LPC just done. Microsoft Flight Simulator defo helped blow off the cobwebs. Thanks very much, Jess. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thanks for coming along. Great to hear you're back flying. That's really great. I hope we all are this summer. I really, really do. So yeah, thanks for coming along, and glad to hear you like the videos. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes says, hey, I'm cruising at 340 right now. No cons at all. Is this due to conditions, or is there a sim setting that makes it not appear? Ooh, now there could be a sim setting. I've got everything set to ultra. That's quite a turn. But there could be a sim setting. Right? Is that right? Yeah, it's going to find its way over to guess. Let's hope it makes it before it shoots through. But you can also get rid of them with temperature. So if you watch my video on contrails, I show that if you make it warm enough, they'll disappear. Now, the real contrails form for all sorts of reasons, but in this simulator, it just seems temperature based. If you make it warmer in terms of ISA, then it will, or at ground level, then it will remove the contrails. Remember, you don't get contrails every flight in real life. They aren't always there. We don't know when we have them. I have no way to predict. I'm sure a meteorologist or someone very clever could. Oh, there you go. You can see through the engine. That's pretty good. But yeah, they are there sometimes. They aren't there other times. So it could be you're just flying in a warmer part of the world. Ryan Young says, just had a disastrous approach in fly-by-wire, do not use flap 1. Yeah, I've heard, someone else said that earlier. So Ryan Young, what happened when you used flap 1? Ryan Videos is using the Toliss, so loading back in with autosave. Excellent. Phonics says, help, when I am flying the fly-by-wire A320, when I land it is showing slat and flap not in takeoff config. And there are beeping sounds. I can't stop the warning. That's because your thrust levers must be in toga or something like that. That's why it will give you that warning. If you put the thrust levers to toga whilst you're on the ground and flap full, it will get upset and it will warn you. Yes, there's tap -7, sat 36. Yeah, so 36 is pretty warm. Static air temperature, that is. I said I want to talk about that because there's a bit of misconception. So you've got TAT, total air temperature. That's the temperature on the front of the wings where the air is warmer because it's squeezed. As we fly through it in our Airbus, we're going through it pretty fast, 450 knots. So what's happening is it's warming up as we compress it. Same thing happens in the engines. So it's 30 degrees warmer almost there. It's -55 outside. That's the static air temperature. It says static because that's where the still air around us is that temperature. How does the airplane know that temperature? It can calculate it through all sorts of clever means. But yeah, so that's probably why you don't have contrails. -36 is probably too warm. We're at -55. Beck says you can use flap 1. It just powers the engines up to 75% on approach, and as soon as you go to flap 2, it settles. Something not right there. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I did hear a little bit about that. Is that also true of the custom auto thrust system? Ryan Lee says, awesome stream. Have you flown the Zebo 737 in X-Plane 11? If not, do you plan to? I have not. I do plan to. I want to fly the 737-200 again to keep my memory fresh with it. But yeah. Ryan Young says, -4,000 feet per minute vertical speed, and speed dropped whilst keeping the same altitude somehow. Okay. Maybe we'll slow down and we'll go from 1 and then quickly to 2. Sounds like 1 is the thing to avoid. Please do somebody remind me of that as we get closer to the approach when we're on the approach. Andrea says, hi, and thank you very much for the stream. Always nice to see you online. Thank you very much, Andrea. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming along, and thanks for saying so. Great to see you here. Yeah, the Toliss load back in for Ryan Videos 94 is a dream. It's such a good feature. The Toliss is such a good way to fly the Airbus and to learn it. It's absolutely great. Eugenio says, is there any chance to update the MCDU guide? They released a new version and added more features that had been inactive before. So what features are you talking about? Because I'm trying to remember what I added in my last video, or we can get rid of that. Thank you very much, Jorg. Thank you, Jorg Irons, for your 5-year donation. Really appreciate it, Jorg. Jorg says, how does Microsoft Flight Simulator compare to the official flight simulators pilots are trained on? Thank you very much for your 5-year donation, Jorg. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you to come along. Sorry the alert didn't come up. I've had some trouble. I've turned it back on now, but it's been misbehaving today. But thank you for your 5-year donation. Really appreciate it. And to answer your question, the graphics in Microsoft Flight Simulator are much, much, much better, obviously. the handling, it's so tricky. Some things about the handling are amazing. So, and I've said this a lot on the stream, I'm so sorry to regular viewers. The fact that in Microsoft Flight Simulator, the wind gets affected by the terrain and then affects the aircraft is incredible. Because in real life, in real airline simulators, it doesn't do that. Not the ones I've seen anyway. Maybe there's some out there that do. However, the actual flight models in the simulators are approved and they are incredibly closely monitored. So, you know, at the moment in Microsoft Flight Simulator, half the airplanes have the wrong, and I'm not talking about the mod here, I'm talking about just the airplanes in general, but you can fly them slower, they decelerate faster and all of this sort of thing. So there's a huge difference between those and the simulators we train on. And there's a reason for that. The simulators we train on, when you have an engine failure in one of those simulators, it needs to behave like the real airplane, and Airbus will have to certify it and make sure it does, because they've got all the data. So it's not the same. It's not the same. Now, it's very good in lots of ways, and it allows us to get a very close experience, and the teams like Fly-by-Wire and Toliss and other developers have done an amazing job getting it so that flying and landing and so on feels realistic. And the Toliss, I did a video on engine failures in that, in fact, to show where they'd improved the windmilling and so on. But like I say, the real airplane, the real simulators are just so accurate because they have to be. You'll find that a lot of the older style simulators, actually, they use the real computers. So what they do is they have actual these computers up here, ELAC, SEC, FAC, they are actually there in the simulator. They're in the back, and they are the real ones off the real airplane. That's how accurate they are. So yeah, I don't want to be rude. I mean, this is still an excellent thing, and it's getting better all the time, which is reassuring. But in terms of how accurate is the real airplane, that's the big difference. It's every detail. Now there is a limit to that, even in the simulators. They won't be certified for things that we don't know about. So you can't test, you know, deep stalling in the simulator because there isn't the information for it. So it doesn't have that flight model in it. Stuff like that. So there you go. But thank you very much again for your donation, Joel. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you. And that's my ramblings on simulators. Yes, says thanks for the interesting reply. You're very welcome. Oh, you're going across the sea to Brazil. There you go. That would explain it. Toga says the normal experimental fly-by-wire mod available to the public right now has a problem with the flaps. Most notable the flap 1 setting. It slows down the aircraft more than the spoilers. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if this version has that. Probably does. So we'll go from flap 1 to 2 very quickly. Victor Tango says, I just bought the 737-200. It's on sale on the X-Plane store. Fantastic, Victor Tango. Yeah, I'm planning to use that very soon. Very soon. It's no surprise it's been on. I mean, I bought that. A week later, it went on sale, and it's been on sale for weeks. I can't believe the timing. Ryan Young says, by the way, love the streams. Made me get into flight sim again after 10 years. A lot has changed since FS9. Fantastic, Ryan Young. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much for saying so. Simon Schmidt, 320. Thank you for your €5 donation. Really appreciate it, Simon. Simon says, wishing you a good approach and landing into Rome. Just landed in Luton and we almost got killed while flying flat 1 on the custom build. Good luck. Okay, this is becoming a recurring theme. How are we going to get through this? We'll figure it out. I think we'll go flat 1, flat 2 as quickly as we possibly can. Thanks for warning us. Thank you very much for €5 donation, Simon. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you. Everyone's saying it's just adding too much drag. Bernard says, this is responding to a thing you said hours ago. Working title haven't joined Asobo per se. They have, however, given up their day jobs and have gone pro. There you go. Okay. That's great, though. Oh, yeah, I said it was a partner, wasn't it? It was a partnership. Still, that's good to see that they're getting involved fully. Thanks, Bernard. Thanks for coming along. Bernard says you would think EGMC was Manchester, not Southend. I know, not all the codes make much sense. Jed says, I flew into Cork in the rain today. The landing inhibited notice came up and I forgot. It basically just mutes warnings. Got distracted by it and almost missed the runway. Yeah. Don't worry about that. That magenta warning is all good. It shows everything's working. Russell says, when I was involved in engineering, the full motion sims were as complex as the real aircraft and just as expensive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they are. And they work harder than the real airplane because they are always running. Ed Haslam, thank you very much for a £2.99 donation. Really appreciate it, Ed. Thank you so much. You keep supporting the channel. Very generous. Ed says, great stream as always. Off for tea. Many thanks. You're very welcome, Ed. Sorry it took so long to get going, but thank you for your donation. I had intended to be finished early today, and yeah, that didn't happen. But thank you very much, Ed. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Oof, that ultra setting is really, really pushing it now. I think it's loading in some scenery by the looks of things. Simon Smith says, you're very welcome, wishing you and your flaps the best. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for the warning. Chris Moon says, something you would change about flying Airbus 2020? Yeah, the lateral navigation. I want the databases to work. I want the airplane to be able to go direct to a waypoint. I want it to be able to curve around a waypoint. So you see what it's been doing throughout the stream, where it's been seeing a waypoint and it's goes the wrong way, then the right way, and it tries to fly directly over them all. The real airplane, it predicts itself, it puts weight in, and I know that's complicated, but you know, we have that in X-Plane, and it'd be nice to see it in this, definitely. Paddy, good to see you. Paddy says, been banging my head against the wall all afternoon trying to get the 320 Sim Pilot Academy livery for the Aero to finally work, but I finally got there. Excellent, Paddy. Thank you so much. That's really great to hear. Paddy has done loads of liveries for us. Not this one, I must point out. This was by Window Seat, Lord P, who took over the reins of of doing some of these old UK charter airlines. But Paddy has been working on an excellent livery for the Just Flight Arrow, which I look forward to trying out, definitely. And thanks for working on that, Paddy. Really appreciate it. Ben Ward says, evening, how's my fave flight simmer? It's very kind of you, Ben. Good evening to you. Thanks for coming along. And yeah, we are doing well. We've had a few excitement. That's why we're running behind schedule. Half caused by me, half external factors, as ever. But yeah, thanks for coming along. Hurricane says, I was waiting to see whether you could accelerate on takeoff at flaps 1, but then you used flaps 3, which magically gave you more lift, less drag. Yeah, good to know. Good job we did a flap 3 today. See, these things all happen for a reason. Alert box getting things wrong again, I think. I don't know why our alert box is so upset. Problem is I get so used to one software it becomes really hard to change. Dr. Rage says, this game have bad FPS? It does occasionally, yeah. Yeah, it can do. Duncan says, when flying over the Alps, is there any way to predict turbulence? No, you can fly over them and have no turbulence, even on a relatively windy day, and some days it's pretty rough. But no, there's up here, remember the Alps are up to sort of 18,000 feet at the highest point. If you're up at 37,000 feet, you know, you're typically, you could be 20,000 feet away from the terrain, so you don't actually always get impacted by mountain waves of the Alps. They're just not that close. But yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator does simulate it a bit, which is nice. A little bit choppy. If we were descending now into Milan or something, then yeah, you'd know basically when you're downwind of the mountains, that's when you know you're going to get the problems, because the air gets torn up by the mountains, obviously. Toga says, I don't know if it would be so bad on your version, because with the normal experimental version it's almost impossible to depart, do the initial climb out and reach that retraction speed. Yeah, we did manage that. We did it quite generally, so let's see. We'll see what happens, eh? John says, I think it would be a great help to many of us in the community. At what point do you activate the approach phase? That depends on the airline, but you can let the airplane do it automatically, but realistically, when you're on sort of, by the time you're on base leg, so after 10,000 feet in the descent usually, you know, so 10,000 feet above the runway you're landing on, after you're below that, not earlier typically, I'd activate it before base leg. So you know, before you're on final approach, certainly, because by the time you're on base there, you're probably in managed speed and slowing down. Victor Tango says, Matteo, Chewy and Andy are going through all things I need to do that I don't on the Airbus, so this is getting longer and longer. Oh yeah, there's a whole list of things to learn for that 737-200. Sorry, I won't get the name right. Matt? I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Is it actually normal for A320 to fly at yellow angle of attack while at flight level 390? Because I have that with default Asobo model. A320X, however, flies normally and climbs better. Yeah, no, depending on your weight, you could make the airplane too heavy to fly at 390, but it's perfectly possible to fly a 320 at 390 without being in the yellow angle of attack. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the FPS, they really took a hit there. I don't know what happened. Something was loading in. Fluff42, good evening to you. Thanks for coming. Ollie says, do clouds really knock speed off in real life as much as the game? No. Sometimes that you get an increase in speed when you go into clouds, because the clouds are unstable air typically, so you'll see a speed change, sometimes an increase. Yes says, are there any specific effects during flight caused by cirrus clouds or cirrocumulus stratus clouds, or are they harmless as they look? They tend to look pretty harmless, but don't forget some of the worst clouds to fly through are mountain waves, which look a bit like cirrus clouds, but they are a sign that there's disturbed air because of mountains. So, but typically no, typically cirrus aren't much of a problem. It's cumulus and cumulus, towering cumulus and cumulus nimbus that are the problems. Kai, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Kai says hello. I'm doing well. How are you, Kai? Marv says, thanks for the brake fan video. Your extra information was very interesting. Have you seen the S7 Airlines take off with contrails at -30 in Siberia? Thank you very much, Marv. I'm glad you liked the brake fan video.
Traffic, Italy 1198 on the LS runway 36, 8 miles out.
It was good fun to make something a bit different. And yeah, I have not seen the video of the S7 taking off with contrails at -30, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Benny is about to be on Manchester ground if anyone wants to fly in and out. There you go. If any of you looking to go fly from Manchester.
Runway 18, please expedite takeoff.
Someone's at the Nate. Toga says, good news, setting max FPS in the NVIDIA control panel does work. Just make sure to restart your PC after applying it and maybe give yourself a 10 FPS buffer from your target in case of dips. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, Toga. I'll do that. I reckon I'm getting in the cockpit here. I can't be any more than 20. I usually get 20 to 30. There's that fuel float, still running at 3 tons an hour. Oh, and we've been joined by our co-pilot. You're right. Complaining. Oh, what are you complaining about? See, now once she gets your attention, she stops complaining. The instant she knows you're looking at it. Jed says, isn't anything above 25 FPS for flight simulators basically magic? Yeah, agreed. Oof, it is a real struggle today. See if I can figure out why. Yeah, it's funny, you know, I'm just looking at my stats. My graphics card isn't even at 53 degrees. It's running at 53% load, sometimes down at 30. And that's what I was saying earlier, you know, I am severely bottlenecked by my i7. I feel like VSync is kicking in and off at times as well. So let's go to that view. How does that do? That's about... Oh, no. Hardly using my graphics card at all. So I just wondered whether I'm getting GPU throttling, but no. What's my processor running at? My processor is not working that hard either, but it's obviously limiting us. Yeah, about 55 degrees. Yeah. Seems to be today my processor's really having to work hard, definitely. Chickpoint says, I need a zipper hoodie with your cat on it and a sign Cat 3 certified. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Andy says, I wouldn't be worried about burning 3 tons an hour. In Concorde, I'm used to 20 to 40. There we go. Andy's still awake. Excellent. Big on DirectX 12. Yeah, looking forward to that. It is incredibly CPU dependent. John says, time to buy the Threadripper. Yeah. I've got an i7 10700K, which is a really good processor. I've had no complaints with it. It's handled so many things, but it's just this game is just so demanding on it. No, I'm using hardware info or monitor, one of those, Eric, for seeing it. Yeah, that should tell me what GPU VRAM, wouldn't it? Let's see. I think it would tell me my GPU RAM use. GPU memory. No, I haven't maxed out the GPU memory either. Although it's pretty high, 77%. But that's not maxed out. So it's the CPU. I know it is. I know if I had an i9, things would be running better. Toga says, the biggest thing, unfortunately, is that Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't utilize all the cores. I really hope they fix this soon, so all power of CPU can be unlocked. The move to DX12 should help. The thing is, since dual-core CPUs, we've been hearing this, that one day they'll update this or that to use all the cores. That it does happen, but I'm hoping it comes true. But X-Plane 11 got Vulkan. That did make a big difference. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'm just concerned that there's no way they'll make it optimized for 16 cores or whatever. Is my only concern. So I think the only way I could go here is maybe to get an i9, of course, because I can't change to AMD anymore. There you go. It's smoothed out a bit. I don't know what was concerning it a minute ago. Dan says, it's since the last patch my buddies have all experienced huge slowdown and stutters. GPU drops to less than 5. There you go. Okay, so it's not just me. Darren says, on backtracks I use, say, left toe brake and increase thrust on right engine. Is this a procedure? We tend to just use the tiller, but you can use asymmetric braking or asymmetric thrust, but I don't use them that often. Don't meow on guards, Eric. Yeah, exactly. Our cat, Domingo Da Vinci, is pretty much indoors, yeah. She doesn't like going outside. We let her go in the garden, but she doesn't go anywhere. She doesn't like it. And if it's too cold, she runs straight back inside again. She's not a very adventurous cat. Toga says that that is very good on Ultra, especially in the 5-by piece machine. Yeah, the computer is powerful. I'm not complaining, and the i7 has been good, but one day I might have to change it over. John says, I'm loving my AMD CPU, but hate the AMD GPU. Maybe between us we can make a PC that can run this. Yeah, maybe. Apparently, Fiumicino is fully staffed. Here we go. Getting close to descent time. 37,000 feet. Oh, let's try out their calculator. There you go. 116 miles, yeah. As I always say, 120 crosswind, so yeah, maybe 130 would do us fine today. Still bouncing around in that turbulence. 12.2 tons of fuel. Fuel's doing alright, I think. Let's see what the idle fuel flows are. Ryan says, love the livery. I've been flying around the UK in Paddy's, My Travel and Air Tours liveries myself. Thanks for the videos. You're very welcome, Ryan. And yeah, Paddy's on loads of great ones. This one is by Window Seat, Lord P. Mash, good evening to you. Thanks for coming along. Mash says, question about landing flare. Do you have to hold the stick back, or is it like takeoff where you set pitch and let go? No, you have to hold it back. The reason is, so when you're in the flare, the aeroplane is in what's called flare law, and while it's doing that, it's going to gently trim forwards. So yeah, you have to you pull back and you hold it there, and then as your main wheels touch down, you can release it to neutral. You never push forwards, but you do have to hold it pretty much all the way to touchdown. Yeah, it's rare to let go and leave it at neutral. Probably, if they hadn't introduced flare law, in normal law, that probably would have been what you'd have done. But they wanted to make it feel more natural, which is why it trims forward and forces you to hold a bit of backstick. Jack says, the problem with the CPU is the single core performance. A move to an i9 of the same generation won't help much. Overclocking the 10700 would give equal or better i9 performance. Yeah, actually that's true. I could overclock. I haven't overclocked my CPU, and it's getting close to needing to do that. Toga says the i7 is a beast. The problem is primarily linked to the sim for now. Yeah, exactly. The i7 it doesn't struggle with anything else with video rendering or editing. Jorg has just connected to that sim as an observer with drone view. Fantastic. Ollie says, I'm struggling to get 20 to 25 FPS with most settings on Ultra with an i7 and the 1080. Yeah, 1080 may be a bit slow. It could be the VRAM. It could be limited because this is using about 7 gigabytes of VRAM at the moment. But also, it depends on your resolution and all sorts. So I'm only running at 1080p at the moment, of course. To be honest though, the one thing I have noticed with Microsoft Flight Simulator is it doesn't matter what resolution I run it at. I could run it at 2K or 1080. I get no difference in frame rate at all. Pretty much, anyway. Checkpoint says, how far do you pull back on the flare? Oh, not... It's hard to describe, really. Not a lot. Just a little bit of a nose up just to reduce the rate of descent and then keep it there however you need to. Yeah, the game is not optimized, so it's different from rig to rig. Yeah, it's still in development, isn't it, really, this game? We know that, yeah. Yes, so it's got to go. Have a good evening. You too. Thanks for coming. Domingo Da Vinci says, when streaming, are you utilizing NVENC? Yes, I am. I am now. I didn't used to, but I am now. I noticed no difference, to be honest, though. MBL says, I have a problem in FS 2020. When I turn on my battery, the screens won't turn on. Do you have a solution? I haven't seen that one, I'm afraid. Sorry. Leopold says, the CPU is not affected by resolution. No, there we go. Yeah, the reason I haven't overclocked is because I'm nervous. So I might do the auto overclock. The reason I'm nervous is because I need it to work for the whole stream. I'd rather go with low FPS into a stream than I'd go with, you know, the chance of my computer just dying. Because I can handle sim crashing or whatever. We can make something up. But if the computer crashes, it's game over for the stream, you know, and that's not ideal. That'd be quite unpleasant for everyone involved, I think. Let's go for an engine view. There we go. Matt Olsen, thank you very much for your $10 donation. Sorry it doesn't show up, but thank you very much. Matt says for your new CPU. They're very kind. Thanks, Matt. Matt says, love the streams. My wife says your voice is very soothing. Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it. And thank you very much for the donation. Really, really appreciate it. Very generous of you. Thank you. And I'm glad my voice is soothing. Look at that view. That is just spot on. I always say this. I've cheated, by the way, guys. If you haven't noticed, I did rewind time a little bit so we'd have a sort of sunset arrival into Rome. Ollie O says, I can't get my head around the camera angles. I only know about 4, and editing them is even harder. So, no, I don't know how to edit the camera angles, but this is included in the mod at the moment. You go to camera, showcase, they've added loads. I don't know how they did that, but they did, and they're great. Toga says, I know you won't probably be going into prepared V5, but if you ever did, you'd be able to run everything on max. Yeah, I've thought about it, but I don't think I could do it. No, I have seen it. I've seen other people's, and I like the FS Labs, but the investment and the cost, I mean, and plus the extra scenery and so on, it's just, I don't think it's for me. Well, we're back to a slideshow. And Haslam says back from a very rapid sea, looking forward to the approach. Thanks, Ed. Hope you enjoyed it. We are having real frame rate issues today. Never seen it quite so bad. It does seem to pick up eventually. You're welcome, Ollie. Yeah, they've been added into the mod, so that's how we get those. And then what I do, I have a key assigned to the showcase view. So as soon as what I do is I just, choose your camera angle. There it is. And then I've got a key that toggles showcase view. So now I can press that key back in the cockpit, press it again, back in the wing view. That's the easiest way I found to do it. Ryan loves wing views. I have views from all over the cabin looking towards the wings. Yeah, me too. Evcom says turn off co-pilot screens. It does help a little. But the thing is, now we're fine again, you see. So it seems to be a simulator problem that keeps creeping in. Giuseppe says, I think the camera angles are not included in all the versions of the mod. They don't appear in the custom fly-by-wire version. But that's strange because I'm using the custom autopilot version. Oh, the cat's left. She's had enough. Jed says, I think you need to have a word with your cabin crew. They keep refilling my drink and I'm on the verge of causing an incident that forces you to divert. Well, don't worry. It's time to descend, really. Constraints. There we go. Now, I've been sitting here chatting because I'm so used to long flights. We haven't done any of the arrival preparation, so let's get on to that. It is going to be straight in, so we'll start our descent shortly. LRIF, arrival, send. And then we'll wait for our received messages. Any moment now. There it is. Oh, good. So yeah, like the real airplane, you can stay on this page. You don't have to refresh it, which is good. Then we'll print that. And there it is. LIRF. Let's copy that over. Right. So Echo ILS 16 left and 16 right. Departure 25. Transition level 70. So we have to do it out. So it's a level of 70. So the transition altitude will be 6,000 feet ish. Right, temperature is 14. QNH 1016. Wind 1509. So please remind me about the flap 1 issue on approach, and also guys, please remind me to hit the recorder. I've got flight recorder ready to get a little replay if we can. There we go then. We don't know which runway we're going to get, but we are currently working on, we've just tuned in the RNAV 16 left, Zibble 3 Papa. Good stuff. Let me show you the charts for that. So, wow, I mean this is a new record in terms of chatting and then not setting up in time, certainly. Let me delete the old charts. Let me bring up Rome Fiumicino. Now they've got loads and loads of arrivals, so I'm working on the Zibble 3 Papa, which is pretty straightforward. Just takes us to Tango Alpha Quebec. I struggle to believe that's what they'll give us, I'll be really honest. I'm expecting a whole load of sort of lateral holding. Let's see if I can find the one I expect. I'll just show you guys what I'm doing. Here's the charts. So this is what I've tuned, Zibble 3 Papa, but we'll see what they give us. They could give us a whole host of other ones. You'll see that you get this style of arrival, which actually takes you all around the houses. This is for that lateral holding that I talk about, where they'll just make you fly this until they can vector you in. We'll see what we get given, and 16 left should have an ILS, so let's bring up the ILS X-ray, the most common one. They don't have a Zulu, bizarrely, but there we go. Let's have that pinned. And we've also got the RNP for 16 left, so let's have that pinned because it might be possible to fly that. Possibly an ILS 16 right or an RNP 16 right, so we'll have all of those ready to go. There we go. See if we can get any of those to work. Then we're going to land. There are standard taxi routes in Fiumicino. Let's see if they're going to use them, but if they are, we can use them. We'll work them out. Right, so here's the plan then. Zibble in, that would be the best one, Tango Alpha Quebec, and then from Tango Alpha Quebec we can go straight to our approach. That's the easiest, but in reality I doubt that. But there we go. I'm not sure which runway they expect us to use, so let's start down. There we go. Right, let's start open descent. Down we go. Yeah, so I'm not sure which one they're expecting us to do. So I'm going to stick with the left at the moment. So RLS Zulu, sorry, RLS X-ray for 16 left. There it is. Right, so flight plan is set up for the RNAV. We know that, but what we're going to do is cheat. We're going to tune the RLS. So let's put that in now. We can't do the course, but it's 1081. Oh, that goes in there. Course is 159. I just don't think it's going to let us do it. It's grayed out, yeah. Anyway, we'll see if we get anything on that. If not, we'll fly the RNAV. If we fly the RLS, though, it's pretty straightforward. It's a 3-degree descent, and it starts from a pretty low platform altitude of 2,500 feet. If we go around, climb on 159 to 7.6 IFLL at 2,000 feet, then a right turn onto 185, join 159. There we go. We can talk to control now and get an idea. 1255.
Roger, expecting retap, descent to the retap 3 Alpha, expecting IS.
Oh, not sure.
Outside 6 Lima, descent level 110.
Roger, 110, descent to 86 Lima.
Control jet set 261, descending flight level 110 to Zibil.
1000 feet, PNH 1016.
Oh, there we go. This is going to be like this now. It's going to be so busy.
Blocked.
So going into cloud like this is where being too close to that speed could be a problem. So I'm just going to wind that back to 7.6 for the cloud entry. And we're going to put that engine anti-ice on.
Hello, Super 21 Echo Delta, 4,000 feet.
Oh, let's see where it goes. It should be going to use...
02 Echo
okay.
Delta Roma, ciao. Climb set level 190 direct to Southend.
190 direct to Southend, Super 21 Echo Delta.
Control jet set 261, descending flight level 110 to Zibil.
Jet set 261 Roma, ciao. Zibil 3 Alpha arrival. Expect LS Zulu 16 right. Descent level 120.
Descent level 120, Zibil 3 Alpha for RLS 16 right. Jet set 261.
Lot 2907, welcome.
Right, flight level 120. Ooh. That's okay. Only everything changed. Arrival. Did we have the RLS 16 right? No. Just RNAV. So let's just set the RNAV 16 right. Not what you do in the real airplane. It would have the right one in.
Direct
Zibil 3 Alpha.
6,000 feet, QNH 1016, Air Serbia to Lima.
And
Paca 320, contact director 119.
Let's just check the
Director
chart.
119.3, Paca 320, bye-bye.
Sorry, Super 21 Echo Delta, just confirm the flight level I'm clear to.
Goodness knows where we're supposed to be here.
190 Super 21 Echo
We've gone past Zibil, so let's go to Iplek. There we go.
Easy 1073, continue descent level 7.
Right.
Descent 7, flight level 70, easy 1070.
RLS 16 right is 109.75. That is strange. That is really diving down there. I'm not surprised about that. Again, if it goes amber in real life, what you'd like to get eventually is a pressurization warning where it complains that it can't keep the differential pressure high enough. Right, so frequency now 109.75. There we go. Going earplex, and here you go. This is this lateral holding. So it's nice to see it did load it in properly. That's good news. This is a gloomy day. I was expecting a really nice day when we got here. Go to manage speed, which will be much slower now.
Silver 5 Alpha Mike, descent with level 70.
Send flight level 70.
So, to keep you guys up to date,
Easy 107,
we are now,
right, turn
we can
180.
get rid of that one. I won't get rid of the other ILS in case we use it.
Easy 1073,
Somewhere in
right,
here, there'll
turn
be a
180.
Sybil 3 Alpha, but it's hidden away.
180, easy 107.
It shows you how much thought has to go into these apps that they use, because the ones that I use at work, obviously you don't have this issue. It's very easy to find this stuff. If I search it, it's just going to find the waypoint, isn't it? Well, one of these is the Sybil 3 Alpha.
Side 6 Lima after backup, direct Exama.
Roger,
Not that
after
one.
backup, direct Exama
There it is.
for Lufthansa A6 Lima.
So that's what we're going to do.
Lima,
Iplek,
same for you,
Goppel,
after backup, direct Exama.
and then you can hear that controller. Was that for us? They are
After backup, direct Exama Air Serbia to Lima.
telling people after a waypoint, go direct to another one. So they might say after Goppel, go to, I don't know, what waypoint's that? That is, so we're going via Exama. I think we'd go via Sivok, actually. I think Sivok.
3,000 feet, climbing 4,000.
Okay, we're 6004 Roma, ciao, climb flight level 190.
Not sure why it's got Exama. Because we, yeah, around the houses. So let us probably break it, but let's try.
Libra 5 Alpha Mike, left turn 070.
Oh no, 16 right.
And contact director 119.2.
Sybil 3 Alpha.
Left heading 070 and direct 119.2. Spirit 5 Mike. Ciao.
Yeah, Sivok, yeah, that seems much better. Inserts. And it's going to Goppel. Wow, is that going to work? I'll be really pleased if that works. Good stuff. Right, and then our ILS is tuned. So nothing different or too exciting about the ILS 16 right. 109.75, course 159. Two potential platforms. 2,500 or 4,000, no matter. Either way, will be flap 2 before this point. And by that I mean before 7.8 miles out. The reason I want to be flap 2 is because I want to test out what's going on with flap 1. And then we'll come down and we'll land, obviously, hopefully, using our minima of Cat C 210.
Sky 6004.
Right, so let's finish last bits of setting up. So don't have flight plan, don't have RadNav, progress page doesn't work yet, performance is in, but MDA we need to put into
132.9 and we're going to be up to 240.
Comfy full landing. If we go around the stop altitude, 3,000 feet. In it goes. Fuel, how are we doing? Says 10 tons. So fuel seems to have been no problem for the descent. That's the point. What is descent? Oh, there's the traffic in front of us. We are in managed speed. We'll leave the seatbelts on now. Fuel flow 160. So fuel flow in descent's been absolutely fine. So we're now at risk of landing with too much. Although 61 tons, we are light enough. There we go. So that's a more healthy looking arrival. Yeah, I don't know why I had that other option. You'd never do that. Good stuff.
Okay, we're 6004 right, direct Southend.
Okay, the alert box is back on, so I apologise if it sends you guys a whole load of old alerts. And I'm sorry if I've missed anyone's donation, I really don't mean to.
Silver 320 November, ciao, ILS Zulu 16.
Darren says, clocking up a number of flying hours now, I've noticed the huge difference in the clouds and weather. I feel the clouds are so rich now. Yeah, the clouds are incredible. This is just an incredible view.
Jet set 261, descend flight level 70.
Descend flight level 70, jet set 261. Right, I don't know how much of this arrival I'm going to fly or whether we can expect a straight in, so I'm just going to do it in vertical speed for now. Unless there's a constraint I want to meet. We're already below 160, so yeah. Let's bring up the ILS, see if anything. It won't work until I activate the approach phase, so we'll see as we get a bit lower. I've got it ready. Because effectively this is going via Marvin, and then let's just have a plan in case we choose to fly the RNAV. Now you wouldn't do this in real life, or, you know, unless you were told you definitely can. because there are differences, but we effectively descend on a 3-degree glide slope using the RNAV from 8.5 miles, so it is really the same thing. So just to show you guys what that is in case we need it, because RNAVs, remember, don't use any ground equipment, so they may well be able to do it. Higher minimum 320, and there we go, 159, and down we're coming in. So by R752 we need to have armed approach most likely. There's a whole complicated thing behind that.
261, speed 210 knots when able, and descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1012.
Send 6,000 feet, QNH 1012, and 210 knots, jet set 261.
And QNH 1016, correction.
QNH 1016, thank you, jet set 261. Okay. Oh, I do hate the way the camera locks like that. Anyway, there's 6,000 feet, master caution. Set the QNH 1016. I'm just going to press B to make sure it matches. It does. Very good. The weather.
261, maintain head discretion, flight level 70.
Okay, maintain flight level 70, jet set 261. Okay, we'll forget all of that. Back to 7. Standards. Master caution. Yeah, it's complaining about severe ice. So let's go to ignition. And wing anti-ice on. No doubt it's covered in ice now. Right, let's get that speed back to 10. Are we covered in ice? Yes, we are. No, we're not. That master caution, by the way, in real life, you press that and the light goes out, but some cautions in this sim seem to lock and you have to press the clear down here to get rid of it. This piece of paper.
Strategy November 129er, Charlie Juliet.
It's just telling us the ATIS, and it told us QNH 1016. That's good stuff. So we're flying around our arrival, reducing to 210. Now, of course, it's not going to reduce to 210 unless I wind back their vertical speed. So there we go, 500 feet per minute. And now you can see.
Left descent 11, flight level 110, citation 9er, Charlie Juliet.
We could ask for the RMP, but I want to see if this tuning works. So sorry, I've missed loads in the chat now. Alexander says should be arriving soon too. Nice, yeah, lots of ice. Popsicle 2000. Yves Morby says, hey, where can you donate? If you would like to donate, you can use Super Chat on YouTube, or you can put exclamation mark donate into the chat and the Cloudbot should bring it up for you. Ah, yes. Thank you. We will remember to hit record. Yeah, we won't do it just yet because I'm not sure how long we'll be doing this.
261, descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1016, contact director 119.2, ciao.
119.2, descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1016, jet set 261, grazie, ciao. Right, 6,000 feet. And it's changed. Aeroplane reckons 1017, so we'll let it do that.
November
1192.
After Iplek, director Romeo Foxtrot 426.
After Iplek, direct Romeo.
Okay.
AC1073, affirmative sir, reduce and clear the rest.
Doing a good job on this arrival. So far, anyway, touch wood. Evening, Wood Aviation, thanks for coming along. Any excuses? Yeah, loads of excuses. The flaps might be wrong, the fuel flow might be wrong. I think they count as excuses. Control jet set 261, descending 6,000 feet. Thank you, Yves Morby, for your €10.99 donation. Really appreciate it.
Rome 261, good evening, Roma director. Continue this, proceed direct Romeo Foxtrot 424.
Direct Romeo Foxtrot 424, jet set 261. Okay.
261 correction, Romeo Foxtrot 428.
Romeo Foxtrot 428, jet set 261. Please work. Please work. It's turning 210 knots, so now I might consider putting out flap 1, but we're not going to because of the concerns everyone's warning me of. Thank you very much, Yves Morby, for your €10.99 donation. Really appreciate it. Very kind, Yves. Thank you, and I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for that.
261, continue descend 4,000 feet.
Descend 4,000 feet, jet set 261. 4,000 feet. Right, what I'm going to do, we've got selected speed, so now I'm going to activate the approach phase, see if that brings up the ILS in front of us. It's not really doing it. Nah, it doesn't seem to want to tune it. We have got it, 10975. We are a long way out though, 30 miles out. Let's see if it picks it up, otherwise we'll just ask him to swap. It's taking us to Mavin now. I'm just going to leave it doing that. It seems a bit confused.
Jet set 261, proceed to direct Suvok.
Direct Suvok, jet set 261. Eek. Yeah, we're in an awkward position now. Thank you very much, R. Alexander, for €20 donation. Incredibly generous with a #1, and that is it a little fox? Thank you very much, Alexander. Really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you both for your very kind donations. Glad you're enjoying the videos. And I'm sorry if I've been missing things in the chat. But thank you, Alexander, and thank you to Yves. Very kind. Right, let's get down a bit more. Yeah, very generous, Alexander. Just thank you for helping towards the channel. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's see if we pick up. If anyone knows, will Microsoft Flight Simulator be more generous? Will it let us have it? My current plan here. Oh, there it is. IFRR. Right, let's do the approach checklist. Briefings confirmed. Become status is checked. We've got that ice issue we know about. Seatbelts are on. BRF is set over 1017. MDADH is set. Engine mode selector is to ignition. We're also going to go for low auto brake, of course. Nice long runway today. Again, if I'd been not chatting for so long, we'd have had a better plan for that. But we're just going to do low and then vacate off to the left. But yeah, thank you very much, Alexander, for your donation. Really kind. And Yves Morby, both of you, very kind. Thank you. Right, 5,000 feet, 20 miles out. Yeah, no problem. We've got everything under control. It's just a case of getting the
Jet set 261,
flap out.
Direct Mavin.
Direct to Mavin, jet set 261. Well, I won't change it. It's pretty much in front of us now. Don't fix what isn't broken. Flap on, please. Just gross and move. I want to see what's up. Oh dear. I'm trying. I don't want to put out flap 1.
Jet set 261, maintain present heading. Clear the LS Zulu 16 right as published. Report established.
Maintain present heading. Cleared ILS 16 right. Wilco. Jet set 261. So he said as published. What he means is we're cleared to descend with it. But what I'm going to do is heading, approach, both autopilots, because that does work. You'll notice it says ILS runway 16 right. That's correct. So that's how funny. It seems to have decided we're doing the ILS 16 right. I suppose if I got rid of it, it would swap over to the ANA. But anyway, we are below profile. We're going down to 4,000 feet. We're going to intercept well before 12 miles, so that'll be safe. So I don't need to actually worry about descending to 3. What I'm going to do is, you guys want flap 1. I'm in selected speed. I'm just going to slow the speed. Let's do 200. Let's go to flap 1. Let's see what happens. So there's flap 1. So I'm expecting to see a huge speed loss and the engine's having to spool up to sort of maximum. Remember, it's only slats at the moment. There's no flap out. I don't know if that makes a difference on a... Well, no, everyone's been having trouble on approach, haven't they? So the thrust is behaving. It's behaving. Ryan Lee says, you can use flap 1 if you wish to land at 3,000 feet per minute. Outstar, there we go. So should get a lock star soon. We are on VATSIM indeed, so as you're wondering. Out lock star, there's lock star, which is good. I don't know, I can't... Oof, gloomy evening. I thought it'd be nice weather here. See the traffic behind us. I love the strobe effect. That's beautiful. So expecting a turn to the right soon. Proper IFR tonight. Below 10,000 feet. Let's get those landing lights on. Turn down the brightness, that PFD, just a little bit. Turning round. Okay, intercepting. It's coming soon. Lots of traffic ahead of us. People say maybe it's because you're using managed speed. Seems fine to me. Managed speed. Just coming back to S speed. Is all good. Sadakin says, didn't have trouble with flap 1 on landing, just takeoff. There you go, maybe it's just a takeoff thing. Flaps 1 is about to become a meme on its own, isn't it? I can see that. Again, sorry to all the chat I must have missed in the approach, but there we go. So our stop altitude for the go around on this one is 3,000 feet. Yeah, I don't know. There we are. Let's see what happens.
Jet set 261, confirm established.
Now established ILS 16 right, jet set 261.
Jet set 261.
Pretty much, because we're basically on that glide slope.
7 miles for touchdown, contact tower 118.70, ciao.
118.70, jet set 261, ciao, that's it. 118.70.
Alright, just about 320 November with you, descending full stop.
Speedbird 320 November, good evening.
Roger, to hold short to runway 25, 1733.
There we go. So now we are on that glide slope. I can set that to 3,000. Okay. Fiumicino Tower, Monticello, jet set 261, ILS 16 right, 10 miles.
Jet set 261, Fiumicino Tower, good evening, runway 16 right.
Sorry, we're on 16 right, jet set 261.
Jet set 261, 16 right, continue approach.
Continue approach, jet set 261.
Right,
let's go to flap 2 then. Nothing exciting about flap 1. All that talk. Hey, I was all excited for that.
Good takeoff for runway 25, Italy 118.
Swiss 1733.
Apparently chat answered the meaning of life while I was too busy and missed it.
Roger, behind departing traffic, land up on runway 225, Swiss 1733.
There it is. It is a nice day here. There's 2,500 feet. Radio altimeter's come to life. It looks like it matches up pretty well, so that's all good. Next to come is a landing checklist. Landing gear wanted to try A320 and X-Plane 11.
ET1073, welcome to Roma, contact ground 122.1.
Yeah, so the flaps, my excuses for landing, flaps, what else have we got? I don't know. That's going to have to be it for today. Potential bugs. Fuel flow seems, look at that fuel flow is pretty good. Right, let's configure. They haven't given us any speed. They expect roughly 160. They wouldn't expect us to slow down too much here, but we have. So, may as well configure. Get down. On the ground spoilers. Get rid of the wing anti-ice. Those lights are on. Flaps 3.
Swiss 1733, wind 150 degrees 9 knots, runway 25, clear for takeoff.
There's a departure because they take off from 25 in Rome, so it's quite an amazing system. Airplanes take off here and then they'll fly over this departure, the arrival runway. And when you're taking off like that, you can look out the right and you'll see us on approach. It's quite cool. Right, that's the full.
130.19, Italy 118, grazie, ciao.
Thing on the cabin crew. Right, landing checklist. Cabin is secured. Auto thrust is in speed, which is now, you know, as we said, this is the whole thing to look at today. The whole auto thrust FMAs are back in. Going altitude, 3,000 feet is set. Eco memo is landing the blue. 901, thank you very much for your 5-year donation. Really appreciate it, Nina. Nina says, great job. Your videos and live streams are always really educational and fun as well. Brought me back to flight sim. All the best. Thanks so much, 901. Really appreciate it. Thank you for donating towards the channel. Very kind of you. There's the outer marker. I've had a few questions on that. It's a very old system that we don't use much these days. But the outer marker is just signaling how close you're getting. They'll be placed on approach at certain spacings before the runway. The idea was, in the old days, it would just guide you to how close you are to the runway. But it's just not required these days. We've got the map and everything. Almost never used. But thank you very much, 901, for your donation. Did I start recording? Good point. We are recording.
Jet set 261, wind 150 degrees 9 knots, runway 16 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 16 right, jet set 261. There we go, we are clear to land. Didn't say 1,000 feet, or I missed it, but there we go. Landing checklist is complete, and we are fully configured. Engine anti-ice, we'll just leave that on for now. Okay. Off we go then. There's another airplane out there. Just a cheeky wing view. Ah, that's why we do it. Let's give it a go then. Autopilot off. Not much to do here really. Just leave it. Let's bit right that PFD. There we go. Cat 1. I'm not going to touch the thrust levers until I actually want to idle them, just because I know They're a little bit sensitive at the moment for some reason.
Rome Tower, good evening.
Well, I must say,
Calculate for one.
it is a stunning evening here, even though it's not
Holding
quite as
point
sunny as I was
Bravo
hoping.
Alpha, runway 25.
Nice
Ready
headwind
for
straight down the
departure
runway.
with you.
That's all we want.
Air Portugal 8 for 1 Fiumicino, good evening, runway 25 option.
There's the middle marker you see, so it says MM. So OM is outer marker, MM middle marker, and then we'll get the inner marker in a second. They seem to be active on this runway.
1733
So try not to overreact to that glide slope. It's a bit of a bug. Flight simulators glide slope seem to get a little bit sensitive at this point. Keep driving now. We're not worried about the ILS. We're just driving towards the middle of the touchdown zone.
Thank you, good.
Idle thrust levers. There's the touchdown. Get the reverser out. And there we go. We are down. Welcome to Rome Fiumicino. Massive great runway. And you'll see even NAI is written above the engines. Nacelle anti-ice. Excellent. Right, let's not hang around on the runway. We could be blocking someone, so I'll release the auto brakes. And that is just a beautiful sunset. I'm so glad I set the time when I did. This is another of my favourite times to fly.
Too bad. 320 November. Going around. Speed not decreasing.
Oh no, sounds like someone might be having trouble. There's that fantastic livery. So I don't think we're allowed to vacate onto 2.5. So I'm going to go manual brakes, forward idle. And we'll just come left at the next high speed. Hopefully there's no one behind us. Oh, they're going around up there. I hope that wasn't my fault. I think we'll just come left here. No point trying to go to that high speed just for the sake of a high speed. 20 knots, get it down to 15. How was it? Ed says standing approach. That sounds good. Excellent. Great landing, says Toga. No excuse needed. Excellent. Always nice to hear. Glad you guys enjoyed it. That was really pretty, visuals. Nice to come in through the cloud and break out and see the runway. That's that feeling we get as pilots. It's a great moment when you do break out and see the runway for the first time. Yeah, the speed drop didn't happen indeed. Right, now we've got to find a way to stand. The next challenge, and it is a challenge. Just going to stop the record. I shall leave the recording running a little bit. Now I'm just driving around. We're going to get some nice replays, guys. Don't worry. Eric, thank you very much. Thanks for coming along. I'm just going to drive towards the terminal. Right.
Jet 261, welcome to Roma. Contact ground on 122.125.
122.125. Jet set 261. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, whoops. I should not have just started driving around. There's a ground controller who's probably getting quite annoyed right now. Right, 122, 125. Roma ground, Buenos Aires, jet set 261, vacated 16 right. Let's get the strobe lights off, landing lights off.
Rome 261, welcome to Roma, continue taxi on Alpha, left on Victor, stand 703.
Alpha, Victor, stand 703, jet set 261, thank you. That can come on. Now it's dry on the ground. We just left it on for the approach, so we turn it off. You'll notice it says NAI on here. That's warning us that that's on. That's a NEO feature, so very cool that they've got that added in now. That's a really nice detail. Let us work out where we're going now. So,
Roger, we stop the pushback.
He said Alpha Victor. So we need to go right, which is what we're on, Alpha. So let's keep doing that, and then left on Victor in there. So it's a short taxi, which is very good.
We're almost, we're facing northwest at the present.
703 on the end there, so he's given us a really good one. That's good news.
Concorde when ready for taxi.
APU's on the way.
Easy 1073, contact ground 121.
As I said, guys, replay coming soon. So that's Mike. We don't want Mike. We are looking for Victor, so it should be the next one. Jed says, just want to wish you both good luck. We're all counting on you. Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry I won't get the name right, but thank you very much for your £10 donation. Really appreciate it. They say, just want to say thank you for all the tutorial videos. I can now visit my loved ones in Microsoft Flight Simulator with the A320 NEO. That's great. Really glad to hear it. Thank you so much for your donation. I'm so sorry I won't get the name right, but thank you for the £10 donation. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm glad the videos have helped you out. Ryan Lee says, beautiful stream. as always, and the most amazing YouTube community I've ever come across. Thank you, Captain. You're very welcome, Ryan, and thank you to the community who are the ones who are responsible for being so amazing. Yeah, we are very lucky here. Let's get those spoilers, get those flaps up. We are very lucky with our community, and yeah, thanks for coming along. Thank you all for watching. As I said, replay coming soon.
You can contact
stop recording.
Contact ground on 121.
John Pappel says dinner is ready, got to go. Thanks for coming, John. Enjoy your dinner. Now, if my frame rate was higher, I'd be able to see, but yeah, that says
ground
Victor.
1219, taxi to runway 1, easy 319 Foxtrot.
Love it, love it, love it.
Easy 319 Foxtrot, continue taxi on Romeo, and contact ground on 121.9. Thank you.
Continue taxiing
oh
on
no,
Romeo
that looks like there's an airplane on our stands. What we'll do is, it could be just an error in the way the sims are lined up, so we're just going to scoot along. That's Victor. Thank you very much, Richard Gardner. Thank you very much for your donation. Really kind of you, Richard. Yeah, that looks like that should be 703. We're going to steal 702. That's fine. I'm just going to disconnect from VATSIM now, in fact, to make sure that doesn't cause any problems. But yeah, we've had excellent controllers all day today. We're looking after us. Richard, thank you very much for your 15 euro donation. Really appreciate it. Oh, there you go. That's just scenery. That's why it's there. Thank you, Richard. Richard says, entertaining and informative as ever. Thanks. Thanks for the ride along. See everyone again next time. Thank you, Richard. Really kind. Really appreciate it. And there's a little airplane on that stand. They've all taken our stands. We're going to go for this one here. Mr. Espresso says, thanks for the stream. You're very welcome, Mr. Espresso. Thanks for coming along. We're just going to park up where we fancy, just like we did in the Beluga. Raiden says, thanks for the fly top as always. You're very welcome, Raiden. Thank you for coming along. Again, sorry for the chat I've missed. I tried to be a bit more into it, but I left it far too late that time. That's my mistake. Now, you'd have your lights off by now, but there we go. Brakes on. You turn... not the strobe. What am I doing? The nose wheel lights off. APU is available, and we shut down the engines. Oh no, do it properly. That can go to norm. Engine masters off. And here we are. Fantastic. Yeah, glorious flight. I really enjoyed it. And I say glorious just purely from the visual perspective. I'm glad the mod worked out. Some great new features added in there with that auto thrust working. So now let's risk it for a biscuit, as they say. We're going to replay. Here we go. So let's see how it went. Brianni says, hey, sorry I missed everything except the beautiful landing as always. Thank you, Brianni. And everyone who's been watching, if you do have enjoyed the video, do please hit the like button. It makes a big difference for us. Here we are then on approach in our fantastic livery. And let's see how it goes. Russell Gaisley says, spot on, Skipper. Thanks, Russell. Thanks for coming along and watching. Dave says, very enjoyable approach and touchdown. Thanks for another great flight. You're welcome, Dave. Thank you. Nicholas says, another great Friday night stream. Thanks a lot and have a nice weekend. You too, Nicholas. So you can see the engines aren't quite spinning, but if we sit at the right angle, look at that. That is really beautiful. Right, I don't want to spend too long out here, so I don't have a runway view. I can't get the drone to behave today. But what I can do is just scoot us a little bit closer. So there we go. No real drift or anything like that. Those elevators are a slight bug from the simulator. There you go. That's it. That's all you need to do. Get the nose up a little bit. Let it settle down. Thank you, Paddy, for your 5-year donation. Really appreciate it, Paddy. Paddy says, loved it, Captain. Thanks again. You're very welcome, Paddy. Thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the work you've done for the community and the inspiration and help you've given to the livery modders as well. Really appreciate it. And it's very kind of you. Thank you, Paddy. Jonah says, how do you download the custom autopilot version? Yeah, it's in the Discord. Thanks, Richard Tango. Thanks for coming and moderating. Let's set this back up. So yeah, there's not much else to show you really with the landing. It's that is all we're really trying to achieve. You're in the approach, nose up a little bit, let it settle down. That's all you can do. That's all we want to do really. You'll notice the second time you replay, things seem to work a bit better. So let's put ourselves back on the approach. I'm going to give you that wing view because I can't resist it. It is lovely. And I'm going to say thank you all so much for coming along. Thank you to those who very kindly donated. Thank you again to Paddy, Richard, and sorry about the name, I can't get it right. I do apologise. But thank you so much to everyone who's donated. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the chat. One more like and we can have 400 likes. That would go down great for the final part. All you can hear is still one, and that's not realistic. There's a few bugs with the replay. Enjoy your sleep, Andy, and we will put down a bit of ending music. If we can squeeze one more like out of you guys, that'd be amazing. And what I'll say is thank you all so much for coming along. See you again in another video. We've got more streams coming soon, as well as more videos and tutorials. So there's our 400 likes. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a great evening, guys, and see you again soon. Bye bye.